standing for the West Allegheny alma mater.
Welcome to West Allegheny High School Week 9 of the WPIAL regular season. I'm Brennan Rothschild, partner Joe Smeltzer, bringing this matchup between the Indians of West Allegheny as they play host to the crosstown rivals and an Old Parkway Conference foe in the Moon Tigers. And Joe, it is Week 9 of the regular season, the final week of 2016. But at least for the Moon Tigers, they have failed to qualify for the playoffs. West Allegheny has clinched at least the top spot in the Allegheny 9. What are the keys to the game for both teams?
For Moon, the key is going to be to establish the running game. They have not done a good job running the football all year. Their quarterback, Cole Konechka, he is injured, so that hampers their passing game. In order to score against West Allegheny, I think they'll have to run the ball. And for West Allegheny, just do not fall into the trap. They're riding high, coming off their biggest win of the season, a 52-13 win at Woodland Hills last week. So they're looking to clinch up an undefeated regular season, and to do that, they just need to play West Allegheny football, and it's a new week.
Absolutely. If West Allegheny can defeat Moon, it'll be the fourth time in program history that West Allegheny has finished undefeated in the season. Three times occurring in 1999, 2004, and 2013. But we are going to take a look at the top four Huddle special teams play, which includes Brandon Lipford at number 1 for his punt return earlier on in the season. Stadium. As we are going to send it down to the field right now, as we are getting set for the coin toss here between West Allegheny and Moon on the West Allegheny Sports Network. West Allegheny reports, you have 3 key injuries for West Allegheny. You have Joe Bluesman, the starting offensive tackle for the Indians. He is out for today's game. He was out 2 weeks ago versus Hampton. Did play against Woodland Hills, but will not see action this week versus the Moon Tigers. Cameron Cornell was injured last week against Woodland Hills, and he will not see action this week. And finally, Nick Kadlesic, still recuperating from his week 6 will not play for a 3rd consecutive week. But the good news for West Allegheny fans, Nick Kadlesic is hopeful to return next week for the first round of the WPIAL playoffs. As the coin toss has commenced, the Moon Tigers will receive. So West Allegheny set to kick it away. But here at Joe P. DeMcCullough Stadium, we are getting set to get underway. However, unfortunately, it has some undesired circumstances in the Moon area community. A Moon area lacrosse player, Michael Trella, unfortunately passed away Thursday morning, unexpectedly, and he was a lacrosse player for the Moon Tigers. Also, he's very close to some of the sophomores on this Moon Tiger team. He was a player in the youth days, so he was very fond of the Moon area sophomore team. As we do have a moment of silence here for Michael Trella. There on the far sideline, some of the Moon Tiger coaches and some of the cheerleaders are wearing blue shirts. That is because Michael Trella, a significant trait with Michael Trella was that he did like to wear blue Crocs. So today for school at Moon, everyone dressed up in blue shirts with khakis, and they also wore blue Crocs in honor of Michael Trella. So Michael Trella, our thoughts and prayers are with the Trella family, and hopefully they're able to recover from this tragic circumstances that they face. As we're getting set to get underway here at West Allegheny, DJ Upsatnik will do the kicking honors for West Allegheny. He has 29 field goals on the year, which is 6 shy of the WPIAL field goal record. That, of course, being from Bob Millspaw of Peters Township from 1992 to 1995. He made 35 field goals in his career. DJ Upsatnik only 6 away from accomplishing this feat. And going back deep to receive for the Moon Tigers is Zach Duncan, the senior for the Moon Tigers.
Zach Duncan, number 5, is deep and middleman for the Moon Tigers.
Against the Hampton Talbots, Chartiers Valley Colts, and the Baldwin Highlanders last week in a 49-27 drubbing of the Highlanders. As we are underway here at West Allegheny High School, DJ Upsatnik will kick this to the near sideline and will roll out of bounds. So Moon will have the ball 1st and 10 from its own 35-yard line after Upsatnik kicks it out of bounds.
And that's not to start West Allegheny once. DJ normally very reliable both on kickoffs and on kicking field goals and extra points, but the last game we announced was here at home against Hampton, very sloppy. The Indians were able to win, but they had a lot of penalties called on them, and hopefully for Bob Palco, that 15-yard kick at the beginning will not be a sign of things to come. Yes, Brady Sunday is the name you'll hear a lot. He is a sophomore running back for Moon. Last week erupted at Baldwin, had 3 touchdowns and 136 rushing yards. Just a strong physical running back, and he looks to be a fixture in this offense for the next 2 years as he is only a sophomore.
6'1", 180-pound sophomore, big bruising back for the Tigers. It's Benucci in the shotgun, Sunday in the backfield, and he will hand off to Sunday at the middle. He runs into a wall of West Allegheny players. Driving him backward is a West Allegheny defender, Brennan Simmons, leading to a loss loss of 1, bring up 3rd down and 11.
Yes, we said one of the keys would be for Moon is to run the ball in West Allegheny, but that is easier said than done.
Moon Tigers will have 3rd down and 11 from its own 34-yard line in the middle of the field. Panucci in the shotgun with Sunday to his left, and one receiver to the left in Josh Burns, 3 to the right in Glover, Bonner, and Sebastian. Panucci tries a hard count, doesn't work. He will look to pass, being pressured by Holmes, and Panucci will tuck it and run. Has all signs of greenery, but he is caught from behind by E.J. Bauer, who is filling in for Cameron Cornell. E.J. Bauer getting one of his first starts of his high school career in his senior season, and it'll bring up 4th down and 2 after Panucci gains 9.
Yes, E.J. Bauer, hard worker, did not see a lot of playing time over his first 3 years and for this year, but with the injury to Cameron Cornell, nephew of defensive coordinator Brian Cornell, EJ's going to have to step up, and let's see how he responds.
Well, right now we will have a punt coming on for Moon. Nick Sebastian, the wide receiver for Moon, will punt it away. Brandon Lipford, the ever-dangerous return man, goes back deep for West Allegheny, and it is a knuckler ball down the near sideline. It will go out of bounds, and the West Allegheny coaches signal that it went out of bounds at around the 40, as the referees will walk, and walk it out down to about that 40-yard line, so the Indians will have pretty decent starting field position to take its first possession, 1st down and 10, as the offense will be led by Nick Ross, as last week Ross went 7 for 12, 160 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns. Of course, those 2 touchdowns going to the stellar junior wide receiver Brandon Lipford. He had 5 catches for 137 yards, and those 2 scores. Kenny White also offensively had 10 carries, 120 yards, and also scored 3 touchdowns. But, however, Kenny White will come out in the Wildcat formation. Talk is to his right. And White calling out plays. And it will send Delavane in motion from left to right. Kenny White will take the direct snap. And spins away from some tacklers down the middle of the field. And he will barrel his way forward to the 48-yard line, where he will be brought down for a pickup of about 9, bringing up to the 2nd down and 1.
Yes, that Wildcat has been a staple here in Mark Davis's West Allegheny offense for over the past decade. We started with Thornton Dickerson, continued with Mike Caputo, and now it is operated mainly by Kenny White, who has been a force in the West Allegheny offense, and a good 9-yard pickup for West Allegheny's first offensive play.
2nd down and 1 coming up for West Allegheny. This time it looks like it is Brandon Lipford coming in, and Lipford will take the direct snap. He is a former Moon Tiger going up against his old team. Bounces to the right-hand side, and he is swarmed under by a pride of Tigers on that right-hand side. The Moon obviously fired up after getting its old teammate for a loss of 1, bringing up 3rd down and 2.
So this is a big 3rd down for Moon. They do not want West Allegheny to get anything going on this first possession. They have nothing to lose. They're coming in here as the heavy underdogs. They want to make a statement early that the Indians are going to be in for a battle tonight if they want to finish the season 9-0.
3rd down and 2 now for West Allegheny. Ball's going to be spotted at the far side, 47-yard line. As Kenny White now will assume the Wildcat quarterback position. Kenny White had a stellar game last week against Woodland Hills. However, we do have whistles before the snap can be taken. And we'll have an offensive timeout by West Allegheny. Bob Palco did not like what he saw there, so he will take a timeout. 22 seasons under the helm of West Allegheny. Bob Palco has been the coach here for West Allegheny, his alma mater. And he's been here for 22 years. And out of the 22 years that he's been here, he has missed the playoffs 3 times. And the first 2 times happened in his first 2 seasons as the head coach of West Allegheny. Palco pretty much took a culture that wasn't very football savvy and made it a powerhouse in the WPIL that puts West Allegheny among the ranks of, say, Woodland Hills, Upper St. Clair, North Allegheny, Pine Richland, etc.
Yeah, I really can't say enough about what Bob Palco's done at West Allegheny. He's turned this program into a powerhouse. He keeps going. Hopefully he has a lot of years left here to dominate on the football field, but also make an influence in these kids' lives, as he is equally respected, if not more so, as a person than he is as a football coach here in this community.
Coach Bacco isn't really more about coaching. He's obviously about coaching football, but it's more about coaching the life lessons to these kids and preparing them for the next chapter. As Kenny White will assume the Wildcat quarterback position, takes a direct snap. He is patient and runs to the right, and he will fight his way forward, falls forward for the first down inside Tiger territory at about the 48-yard line as a pickup of 5. And the first down of the game is claimed by West Allegheny, as we have Connor Johnson, Bryce Manley now coming in for the Indians. 1st and 10 on the near hash 48-yard line of Moon.
Yes, what I really like about Kenny White is he is very fast, very shifty, but at the same time, he's not afraid to get himself beat up a little bit. He can run through a defender. He can fight for a few extra yards. He can drag defenders with him if he has to. Really a complete running back in number 5, Kenny White.
1st and 10 now. Nick Ross will get his first snaps at the quarterback position. He will hand off to that running back, Will Weber, and he is going to be German suplex to the ground by a couple of Moon Tigers, specifically making the stop Alec Yoakum, the 6', 190-pound senior for the Moon Tigers, playing at that defensive line position, making the stop, bring up 2nd down and 9 after the gain of 1.
Yes, West Allegheny has always been about running the football, and no different here so far in this first possession. Let's see if they open it up a little bit, have Ross throw the ball a little bit, maybe even have Ross run. We'll really have to see what Mark Davis decides to call here as this possession goes on.
Ross now in the shotgun. White to his left and a fullback Takis to his right. Excuse me, that was Van Damia, but nonetheless, Ross will throw to that man in motion, and Mateo Van Damia slips through a tackler down to the 40-yard line, fighting his way forward, trying to get his 210-pound frame to fall past the 40-yard line, but he is brought down by a Pride of Tigers again at the 42-yard line. Among that Pride was Chuck Metz, 5'9", 200-pound senior, who has seen action all over the WPIAL, as he was also formerly a Hopewell Viking a couple of years ago before coming back to the Moon Area School District. Bring up 3rd down and about 3.
Yes, Mateo Van Damia came here last year as a freshman and just impressed everybody with both his physical build and overall talent as just a freshman. He's really blossoming as a sophomore and hopefully will become a huge player for the West Allegheny Indians.
3rd down and 3 from the 41-yard line. Nick Ross now under center. He will throw the quick curl route to Brandon Lifford, slips through a tackler, and he gets down out of bounds to the 25-yard line, taken out by Torrey Fisher and Josh Burns down to the 25-yard line. That's a gain of 16. Longest play of the game thus far for both teams, and a 1st down for West Allegheny.
Yeah, Brandon Lifford is electric on the field, but more importantly than that, he's really come along as a young man with his work ethic, his overall leadership abilities. As you see, a penalty is called.
But it looks as if that penalty will be marched against, potentially. Moon, as we have a personal foul face mask called against the Tigers, which will give West Allegheny free yardage inside the 20-yard line down to the 15. It'll be a 1st down and 15, or 1st down and 10 from the 15-yard line for West Allegheny.
And Moon's going to have to play pretty close to a perfect football game if they want to have a chance tonight. And penalties like that will not get the job done if they want to upset their rivals, West Allegheny.
That was a half the distance to the goal penalty, as it was inside the 30-yard line. Normally a 15-yard penalty, but it'll be 1st down and 10 from the 12. Kenny White with a direct snap, weaves his way through traffic, tries to stiff arm a man down to the 5, and he will be taken out of bounds along that near sideline, getting close to the 1st down, but he will be 3 yards shy as he is brought out of bounds by pretty much the entire Moon defense, and it'll be 2nd down and short.
As I talked about earlier, Kenny White not afraid of anybody. He can have defenders drag him. He can run through defenders. He can run around them. He'll do whatever it takes to get that extra yard, and it sounds cliche, but it's really important to this football team, and a big reason why the Indians are where they are, they know.
And you got to admire that about Kenny White. You know, not being afraid to run through or run over a Moon tackler or any defender throughout anybody in the 5A classification in order to pick up yardage and potentially scores, as Kenny White will take the direct snap, but he is met immediately by Austin McConaughey. As soon as he takes the handoff and tries to run left, it'll be a loss of 2, third down and about 5 from the 7.
Yes, Austin McConaughey, a senior captain for this Moon team, one of the senior leaders, has played a big role as a linebacker, and at 3rd and 4, we will see how Coach Davis decides to play this, whether it be another run or a pass to try to get a touchdown early on.
No score here in the first 7 minutes of play. We are approaching the 5-minute mark of quarter number 1. Nick Ross in the shotgun, Lifford to his left, Johnson and Crow to his right. And Ross will throw the fade route to the left, and it'll be kicked up and will be out of bounds regardless for Brandon Lifford, who does make a diving one-handed catch. But regardless, it was out of bounds, and the field goal unit will trot on the field for West Allegheny. DJ Satnik looking to make it 30 field goals in his career. As you take a look at the replay, that ball was well out of bounds as Lifford corralled the ball as he was pushed out by the defender.
Yeah, Setnik surprisingly has not been receiving too many major college offers for all of his accomplishments here at West Allegheny as a 4-year kicker, but I better believe that he's going to be playing football in college.
Upsatnik will attempt the 24-yard field goal from the near hash. Upsatnik will lay into this kick, and it splits the upright, so West Allegheny will strike first. Thanks to the 24-yard field goal by DJ Upsatnik, his 30th field goal of his high school career to make the score 3-0. As you take a look at the stats this season, he is a perfect 9 for 9 on field goals, has scored 57 total points for this West Allegheny team. His longest kick came last week, a 47-yarder at the Wolverina versus Woodland Hills in what was pretty much a wet and rainy atmosphere that was very slippery, and Upsatnik could have made that kick from about 57 yards.
Yes, even though Moon did allow a field goal, it has to be a bit of a moral victory because West Allegheny had them down near their goal line, but the Moon defense was able to tighten up and force West Allegheny to just the field goal and allow 3 points instead of 7. So could have been worse as far as the Moon's opening defensive possession goes.
Upsatnik getting set to kick it away. Zach Duncan back D2 receive for the Moon Tigers. This Tiger team last week defeated Baldwin pretty handily, 49-27 the final score. Moon forced 6 turnovers against the Baldwin Highlanders. Would have had 7 if it wasn't for a penalty assessed against Moon. So very impressive defensive performance last week against not a very good Baldwin team. As Upsatnik will kick this one away. It teeters down the near side, and it will be fielded by the sophomore Raekwyn Glover at the 1-yard line. Turns on the Jets, has an avenue down the near sideline at the 40-yard line, and he is going to trot his way forward down to about the 50-yard line. So that's exactly what Moon needed to get a spark offensively. They have great starting field position after the 49-yard kickoff return by Raekwyn Glover.
Yes, Raekwyn Glover, a sophomore, plays a role as a receiver and the kick returner. Nice return there, gets them right at the 50, and good field possession for offensive coordinator Ryan Lynn and this Moon football team. And let's see if they can turn it into some points and surprise some people early in this game.
1st and 10, Moon from its own 50-yard line on the near hash mark. Anthony Panucci will quarterback this Moon offensive attack. He has a fullback, McConaughey, to his left, and Brady Sunday in the backfield with receivers to each side, as Panucci in the shotgun will take the snap and hand off to Sunday. He is met immediately on the play for a loss by Logan Malatak for West Allegheny. Loss of 2 on the play as Brady Sunday, 80 carries for 363 yards on the season. He averages 4.5 yards per carry, as pretty much half of those yards came last week versus Baldwin. He had 16 carries for 156 yards and 3 touchdowns last week versus the Baldwin defense. It'll be 2nd down and 12 for Moon at the 48-yard line. Panucci in the shotgun with a sidecar to each side, as you see the West Allegheny sideline cheering on its defense, as Panucci will throw the pass and swat it back into Panucci's hands, and he tries to make something out of it, but he gets brought down for a big loss by Brennan Simmons. So technically that is a Forward lateral that is caught by the quarterback. So credit Panucci for the pass and the catch. -6 yards on the play. 3rd down and 18.
And number 2, Will Weber batted it down. He's really been impressive as far as his tenacity goes on this defense, and Coach Cornell has to love that.
Will Weber showing his aggressiveness on defense, which is one of his signature traits here for this Indian attack. Panucci now in the shotgun. He will throw to his right, complete to Josh Burns. Slips through a tackler, but he can't avoid Matt Holmes in the middle of the field as he will be brought down for no gain. It'll bring up 4th down and 18 as Moon tries to establish the passing game there to no avail. As thus far, Anthony Panucci is 2 for 2, but has -6 yards passing thus far as Nick Sebastian comes on the punt.
Yes, not a good first possession for Moon. They needed to make a statement on offense, and they really didn't do it. And now the punt team is on, and they have to be thinking about keeping it away from Brendan Lipford.
As Sebastian nearly gets blocked by Malatag, who had 3 blocks last week, 1 on an extra point, or excuse me, 1 on a field goal and 2 punting blocks. As Sebastian gets a good punt away down to the 12-yard line. That's a net yard, 46-yard punt for the 6'4 junior for Moon. And West Allegheny is backed up to its own 12-yard line, 1st down and 10. As you take a look at the season stats, they have more passing yards than rushing yards, which is kind of odd for a West Allegheny team. However, if you take a look at their defensive stats, they gave up 1,000 total yards on the year just last week in Week 8. So heading into Week 8, they only gave up 951 yards. And last week they gave up 220, putting them at the 1,100-yard mark in terms of yards allowed. As Kenny White in the Wildcat formation will take the direct snap, and Kenny White bounces left. He has a crease. Blockers down to the left side, and he will be taken out of bounds by Raequin Glover down to the 30-yard line. So good gain on the second possession, getting West Allegheny some more breathing room down to the 30-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Indians.
Yes, West A has made headlines with their explosive big plays on special teams. Not so much on offense. They're more of a team that likes to run the ball, wear the defense down, and take 5 or 6 minutes on a possession before finally ending with positive results.
This time it's Brandon Lipford in the Wildcat formation. So West Allegheny going back to its old roots as being a predominantly Wildcat team. But West Allegheny will get caught jumping off sides. Anthony Totkis will move before the ball is snapped, leading to a false start against West Allegheny. Totkis, the fullback for West Allegheny. And you also see movement along the offensive line as well. Mateo Vandamia also moved as well. But nonetheless, it is a 5-yard penalty assessed against West Allegheny. So now both teams have 1 penalty apiece, 1st and 15.
Yes, these penalties, I'm sure, caused Coach Palco some headaches on 2 weeks ago, our last home game against Hampton. Last week against Woodland Hills, the Indians only had 3 penalties the whole night. But tonight, it's 2:21 left in the first quarter, and they already have 2 penalties. So we can only hope that this does not become a pattern like it did against Hampton.
1st and 15 now. Brennan Lipford again will assume the Wildcat quarterback position. Totkis to his right as the fullback. Receiver to the left side, 2 to the right. As Brandon Lipford will take that snap, will look and go towards the right-hand side, tries to jump over a man, but he is going to be met by Austin McConaughey and driven forward down to the 30-yard line. So Lipford will get back to the original line of scrimmage, bringing up 2nd down and 10 for West Allegheny after picking up the lost yardage on the penalty. 2 minutes now remaining here in quarter number 1. It's West Allegheny on top of Moon, 3-0. West Allegheny looking to continue its winning streak over the Tigers, dating back to 2007. 2006 was the last time Moon defeated West Allegheny. That was at Moon Stadium. They came out victorious 26-7, but ever since then, it's been all West Allegheny since. As Nick Ross now in the shotgun as the quarterback. He will throw the quick pattern to Mateo Vandamia down to the right side. He'll be met immediately and driven down by Raequin Glover, amongst others, at the 36-yard line. So they're establishing Vandamia early on at the offensive position. 3rd down and about 4 for West Allegheny.
Yes, and we saw moments ago what Raequin Glover could do on special teams. So if the Tigers could force a punt and give Glover another chance
the fielder return, then he could do some damage when he gets that ball in his hands.
Moon does have some athletes. However, they don't have the record to show for it. They are 3-5 on the year. As Nick Ross in the shotgun with a running back to his left, 2 to the receivers to the left, 1 to the right. As Ross will look right the whole way, throws to Lipford on the far boundary, runs out of bounds at the 42-yard line. It'll be a first down after the pickup of 6 by Lipford on his 3rd catch of the day.
Yes, nothing really pretty about that play, but it does get West Allegheny the first down. It's a short game, but it keeps the chains moving, and that's all West Allegheny cares about. Just keep moving the ball down the field. Doesn't matter how long it takes to score, as long as you get the intended result on the offensive possession.
First down and 10 now for West Allegheny on the far side 42-yard line. In West Allegheny territory, Nick Ross in the shotgun with a fullback Talkis to his right. Kenny White in the backfield. And Ross will throw the slant pattern to Lipford. Slips through a tackler. Now has some greenery down the 35-yard line. Turns on the Jets. But he'll be met from behind by Ray Quinn Glover. Drags him down at the 20-yard line. That's a gain of 38 by Brandon Lipford. And a first down for West Allegheny. Brandon Lipford shining bright early against his old squad.
Yes, Lipford is a human highlight film. Very exciting to watch, very electric, very important to this West Allegheny offense. And to win this Whitfield championship, which is the main goal, they're going to need number 19 to continue to do what he's been doing this year, because it has been impressive and very exciting to watch.
West Allegheny, if they can notch up a win here tonight, they will more than likely clinch the number 1's overall seed in the 5A Whitfield playoffs as the only undefeated team in the entire 5A classification. Nick Ross in the shotgun, hands off to his running back, Will Weber, who drives his way up the middle, pushes the pile forward down to the 17-yard line as he'll be brought down by Chuck Metz, the 5'9", 200-pound senior, as the first period is going to expire here at Joe P. DeMcCullough Stadium. A fairly quick first quarter ends with a 3-0 West Allegheny advantage over the Moon Tigers here at Joe P. DeMcCullough Stadium. But we're going to step away here for a quick break here on the West Allegheny Sports Network. You're listening to West Allegheny versus Moon on the West Allegheny Sports Network. At the end of the first quarter, West Allegheny out in front of Moon 3-0 after a very quick first half, which saw West Allegheny move the ball pretty effectively on its first 2 possessions. Moon went 3 and out on its first 2 possessions, so the Tigers need to get something defensively if they want to hang in there with a highly touted West Allegheny attack.
Yes, West Allegheny, first possession of the game, was able to get a DJ Upsetnik field goal. They're driving here, 2nd down and 6. They had the ball at the Moon 16-yard line, so hopefully they can put that ball in the end zone and get themselves a little breathing room early in this game.
Both offense and defense will take the field for West A and Moon. 2nd down and 7 now from the 17-yard line for West Allegheny. Kenny White now in the Wildcat formation. Anthony Talkis, the fullback, to his left with the receiver to each side. Kenny White is also a threat to throw the ball as well, as he has completed 2 for 2 for 59 yards. But White will take the hit, take the direct snap, run to the left, has a convoy of blockers, jumps over a Tiger, but will fall down to the 12-yard line, make that the 11. But a decent gain by Kenny White, being patient around the left-hand side, but will be short of the first down marker, bring up 3rd down and about 2.
Yes, White is a very patient runner as well. He reminds me a little bit of Le'Veon Bell of the Pittsburgh Steelers as far as his versatility as a back and all of the elements of a good running back that he has, as well as his patience. He may look like he's running slow, but in reality, he's just looking for the right opening.
Kenny White on the year, at least heading into this game, he had 86 carries for 645 yards and has scored 13 rushing touchdowns this year, as White is in the Wildcat again. Talkis to the right. White will take the direct snap, powers his way forward down, will get the first down inside the 10 and the 5, and will be driven backward, and the forward progress will be stopped at the 6-yard line. Meeting him on the play was number 74 for the Moon Tigers. We do not have a name on that on our roster, but nonetheless, it'll be a first down and goal from the 7-yard line. Make that the 6.
Yes, West Allegheny just gradually moving the ball down the field. This has been quite a drive here as they've been driving down gradually, just wearing down the Moon defense, and we'll see if it can end in points.
Last time West Allegheny had the ball, it came away with 3. West Allegheny now looking for 6, as looks like that is Will Weber now in the shotgun. He will take the direct snap, has some greenery, but will trip and fall forward to the line of scrimmage. Will pick up nothing on the play. It'll bring up second down and goal from the 6. Will Weber on the year hasn't gotten the ball nearly as much as, say, Kenny White. He has 25 carries, but has scored 2 touchdowns, including a long touchdown John against Hampton, and his other touchdown was scored against North Hills in the big come-from-behind victory against the Indians at Martorelli Stadium. Will Weber has 143 yards rushing thus far in the year, but Weber did lose 1. It'll be second down and about 7 yards away from the end zone, as Nick Ross will be in the shotgun. Weber to his left in the running back. Weber looks right the whole way, throws the screen pattern to Connor Johnson, who will walk into the end zone for the West Allegheny touchdown, as West Allegheny had a convoy of blockers in front of Connor Johnson, which allowed an easy 7-yard strike from Ross to Connor Johnson.
Yes, offensive line coach Ed Marcellus is going to love that display of blocking. Just a simple screen pass, and Connor Johnson makes it work. He has played a huge role in this West Allegheny attack since he decided to join back with the football team mid-season.
DJ Upsatnik now will attempt the extra point out of the hold of Nick Ross. And Upsatnik, good snap, good hold, good kick. And it splits the uprights, so West Allegheny holds a 10-point advantage over the Moon Tigers after the 7-yard touchdown run from Nick Ross to Connor Johnson on the screen. As you mentioned, Connor Johnson did join the team midway through the season. As a matter of fact, he did join the team in Week 3. He was on the sideline for Week 2, but was unable to dress, as Johnson's mentality was he did want to be strictly baseball. Another circumstances with Logan Malatak, number 41, in the same boat. They both wanted to be primarily baseball. However, Connor Johnson and Malatak just could not stay away from the game of football, and they decided they wanted to come back and join the team and hopefully stay for the remainder of their high school tenures, as Malatak is a sophomore, Johnson is a junior.
And for the Moon Tigers, the best thing they can do, in my opinion, is to forget about the first quarter. They're down 10-0, yes, but the score should be 0-0 as far as they're concerned. They have nothing to lose. They need to play like it's 0-0 and see what happens against this West Allegheny team.
Kickoff forecast is currently 51 degrees right now, with the winds moving not too fast at a 5 mile per hour going through the south. Mostly clear and a crisp night here in southern Pennsylvania, or as western Pennsylvania, I should say, as Upsatnik will kick this one away. Duncan will take it from his own 3-yard line. Moon had a pretty good special teams play earlier, and they look to get another one as they bounce it to the right-hand side. Duncan is taken out of bounds there by Noah Ledford on that far side at the 33-yard line. Another big return given up by the West Allegheny special teams gives Moon another good starting field position. As a matter of fact, this is their worst starting field position, but it's at the 33-yard line.
Yes, Zach Duncan has played a role both as a receiver and a running back. Time of possession is key for Moon, because as we have seen earlier, when West Allegheny gets the ball, it takes a while for them to give it back. So if Moon can score quick, then great. But the best thing for them will be to try to wear down this West Allegheny defense and keep the ball for an extended period of time.
Anthony Panucci at the quarterback position in the shotgun. He will look right the whole way and throw the screen pass through the hands of Brady Sunday, who's unable to complete the screen pass bringing up second down and 10. Panucci thrusted into the starting quarterback role after losing a quarterback battle with Cole Konechka. Konechka does have over 1,000 yards on the season, but unfortunately he did break his thumb against Woodland Hills in Week 7 as the Tigers fell to the Wolverines by a very close 31-27 score. Panucci last week completed 3 of his passes for only 38 yards, but the Tigers were victorious 49-27. It'll be second down and 10 for Moon. Panucci in the shotgun as he will throw the pass just behind Ray Quinn Glover, bringing up third down and 10 as a little bit of a miscommunication there between the quarterback Panucci and the receiver Glover leads to a second consecutive incompletion. But as I mentioned before, Panucci thrusting in the starting quarterback position. He did score a rushing touchdown last week against the Baldwin Highlanders. As a matter of fact, he did have 7 carries for 45 yards against the Highlanders, which is more rushing yards than he had passing. So a pretty decent game overall for Anthony Panucci and the Moon offense.
Yeah, Panucci, a different quarterback from Konechka. Konechka is more of a passing quarterback. So we have a timeout from Moon.
And as you were saying, Anthony Panucci's more of kind of a run-and-shoot kind of quarterback. He is a dual threat. Konechka more of a pocket passer as he was having a very good junior season, even though the Tigers will miss the playoffs for the second consecutive time. Easy for me to say. Unfortunately for Konechka, he is out for the remainder of the year as he will not be playing here tonight as Moon looks to come back from a 10-point deficit to West Allegheny with 9:34 remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, Cole Konechka really developed into one of the better quarterbacks in this new Big 9 conference, and all we can hope for is a speedy recovery and that he will able to perform at a high level again next year.
As a matter of fact, the top 2 quarterbacks in the Allegheny 9 conference, Nick Ross at number 1 with 1,300 yards. At number 2 was Cole Konechka with 1,080-plus yards. So I'm very unfortunate to see Konechka go down like that as he did finish the season with 7 games and just a shy under 1,100 yards. Third down and 10, Panucci will look to pass. Completes a screen pattern to the running back in Josh Burns, but he is hit hard by Kieran Fearmont as he gets brought down for a 1-yard loss. Fearmont came in and just completely leveled Josh Burns on the screen pass.
Yes, and number 71 is not somebody you want ringing your bell. Kieran Fearmont, big defensive tackle. The first Whitfield player ever to be committed to Colorado State University, where he plans on playing football starting in the fall of 2017. So big things expected from Kieran Fearmont.
6'4", 290-pound lineman for West Allegheny is Fearmont as Moon will punt this one away. Sebastian will lay into this one. It is a beauty down to the 22-yard line, but Lipford is dangerous with the punt return. He will spin away from Glover and will not avoid the second wave of Moon Tigers down to the 34-yard line. We do have some laundry down on the near hash 47-yard line. To take a look at the replay, Lipford got away from Ray Quinn Glover. He's known for shedding some tackles like that. But Josh Burns, making the tackle, Alec Yoakum, did what you pretty much need to do if you want to stop Brandon Lipford, and that's tackle him at the knees, wrap him up, get him to trip and fall, and it paid dividends for Yoakum, but we do have a flag down.
Yeah, any kickoff return or punt return where you can limit Brendan Lipford is a major plus for a special teams unit. You do not want number 19 getting the ball because very, very bad things can happen for an opposing team. As
we do have a penalty, looks like assessed against Moon. Defensive holding was the call made by head referee John Piori. His umpire John Castle. Linesman is Bill Frawley. Line judge Steve Tomko. Field judge Brian Reitenauer. And the side judge is Gary Lavelle. So West Allegheny gets the ball right back. 1st and 10 from its own 44-yard line on the near hash. 8:41 now remaining in the first half clock. West Allegheny looks to go up by 3 possessions. As we do have whistles there by head referee John Piori. And we have a conclave now to decide what is going on officially. But we will resume play. It'll be 1st and 10 for West Allegheny at its own 44-yard line. Taking a look at the far side, the Moon Faithful coming out strong to take on its crosstown rival as Nick Ross in the shotgun talks to the left and hands off to his running back, Will Weber. Goes up the middle, and he is tackled from around the neck there by the Moon Tiger defender, Chuck Metz. Very close to a horse collar call, but no call is made. Bring up 2nd down and 7 for West Allegheny.
One thing to keep in mind with this Moon team is for the seniors, this is it. They've been eliminated from playoff contention, so this is the last game that they will play. And as both of us are West Allegheny graduates, and with the success that Bob Palco has established at this program, we don't think of the last regular season game as being the end for the seniors. So for the Moon seniors, they need to leave it all on the field one last time.
2nd down and a long 6 for West Allegheny. Nick Ross will throw the ball complete to his wide receiver, Isaiah Crow, who made a pretty good catch there over the cornerback, Raequan Glover, which is going to be good for a 1st down. Great awareness, great concentration there, I should say, by Isaiah Crow, pulling in the pass. His first reception since week 4 versus Baldwin.
Yes, Crow with the massive height advantage on Raequan Glover. Crow's brother, Elijah, was a 4-year basketball player here at West Allegheny before graduating this past June. Elijah never played football, but Isaiah is, and let's hope that Isaiah can do some pretty big things as the season goes on.
1st and 10 from the Moon 45-yard line. Kenny White in the Wildcats. And, that's Lifford. White will get the handoff on the sweep, and he will not avoid the Moon Tiger defender, as it looks like he tried to spin away from a couple Moon tacklers, but he'll be brought down at that 45-yard line by Simon Eunice, 6'3", 210-pound sophomore for the Moon Tigers. Has an older sister by the name of Abby, who is playing women's college basketball down in the state of Texas, as the Eunice family, known for their height in the Moon area community. But it'll be 2nd down and 10 for West Allegheny at the 45. Nick Ross in the shotgun with a running back, Weber, to his right. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left in Lifford, as Ross will corral the snap. And he will look right past the ball to the tight end, Mateo Vandamia. Makes a move on Glover, and Glover will go low and tackle the much bigger in size Mateo Vandamia down the 41-yard line. Limits the pass to a gain of 4. 3rd down and 6.
West Allegheny again moving the ball down the field, keeping it for an extended period of time, and Moon wants to limit that. They want to get that offense obviously off the field as fast as possible, but West Allegheny is known to wear teams down. So it's extra important when you play this West Allegheny offense that you do not allow them to keep the ball for an extended period of time like they have been doing on the first 2 possessions and now this possession as well.
6 minutes now remaining in the first half. West Allegheny leads 10-0 as Ross will take the snap. Will launch a long ball down the left-hand side, and it is going to be incomplete to Brandon Lipford. Lipford may have wanted a pass interference call against Panucci. However, there is no such thing as an uncatchable ball in the high school ranks. No call is made, and it's 4th down.
Yes, that's good coverage by Panucci there, as Lifford is not able to make the play, and Moon gets what they want. They force the 4th down. They allow West Allegheny to take some time out the clock, but nonetheless, they did not allow any points, and now they force the DJ Upsetnik punt.
Upsetnik on the punt. This is his first year punting for West Allegheny, despite being the kicker for 4 years. As Upsetnik will kick this one high and will take a West Allegheny roll down to the 5-yard line, where it will be touched down by an up man. And Moon will have it 1st and 10 from its own 5-yard line with 5:34 remaining in the first half to get on the board.
Yes, DJ this is his first year as a punter as a senior, despite kicking for all 4 years. The reason for that is Skylar Mason was West Allegheny's punter last season. Before that, it was Tyler Amador. Both of them did a fantastic job with West Allegheny's punting unit. Amador is now at Artisan Broadus University, and Skylar Mason is the son of Rick Mason, who is West Allegheny's head middle school football coach.
Tyler Amnor, as you said, at Alderson and Broaddus University, is playing baseball for the Battlers down in northern West Virginia, as Moon will have 1st and 10 from its own 5 at the far hash mark. Panucci will take the snap and hand off to Sunday. He is met immediately there by a couple West Allegheny players, making the stop. E.J. Bauer, the senior, getting his first start in his high school career after Cam Cornell went down with an injury. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Tigers.
Yes, we said coming in that a key for Moon would be to run the ball well against this West Allegheny defense. They have not been a great running team all year, and West Allegheny's run defense is fantastic, and it's kind of showing as Moon has not been able to have a lot of success running the ball so far tonight.
The leading rusher, Anthony Panucci, only has 8 yards rushing, which came off of a quarterback keeper, as Panucci will take it again in the end zone, will fall forward, trying to avoid the safety, and he does so. Gets away from the grasp of Anthony Delavade in the end zone, but they will lose about 3 yards on the play, so now Panucci has 5 yards rushing, bringing up 3rd down and 13.
Yes, Panucci avoided Anthony Delavade, number 42. His brother Armand played at West Allegheny, graduated in 2015, and is now starting for head coach Bo Pelini at Youngstown State, and there's a very strong resemblance in those two, both in physical appearance and in the way they play linebacker.
Absolutely. As Panucci is in the shotgun, standing in his own end zone. There is a bobbled snap. It'll be corralled in the end zone by Sunday, trying to get out of the end zone, but will be brought down for safety by Will Weber. So Moon will relinquish 2 points to the West Allegheny team, making the score 12-0 in favor of the Indians with 4:08 remaining in the first half.
Yes, just an awful turn of events for Moon. They get that stop and they force West Allegheny to punt, but unfortunately a nice punt from Setnick pins them back deep at their own 5-yard line, and as you just saw, that leads to a safety. So just not an ideal turn of events for the Moon Tigers, and that will be very difficult to respond back from.
7 turnovers forced by the West Allegheny defense, 14.5 sacks. Coming into the game, they recorded one earlier technically on the quarterback Panucci. So now that puts them at 15.5 sacks, one of the sack leaders in the entire 5A classification, as Moon will get set to free kick it away to West Allegheny. Brandon Lipford going back deep to receive. And if you're Moon, you got to go with the short high kick down to one of the up men to avoid Brandon Lipford from potentially taking it to the house. He did it on a safety kick in Week 5 versus Kiski. And as you take a look around the Week 9 matchups on the Allegheny 9, the North Hills Indians hosting the Hampton Talbots, Char Valley hosting Baldwin, and finally a battle for second place. Woodland Hills is hosting Upper St. Clair, but they will punt the ball down to Lipford, who takes it at his own 32-yard line. And Lipford will go up the middle and will not avoid the Moon Tiger special teams unit. He is brought down by Nick Bonner for Moon. And bring up 1st and 10 for West Allegheny at its own 46-yard line, right at the middle of the field, at the W, in the WA logo at Joe P. DiMcCullough Stadium.
Yes, Nick Bonner also a tight end on this Moon Tiger team. The thing that impresses me most about Moon tonight is their special teams, because as we've watched West Allegheny this season, we're used to, at this point in the game, them running at least one kickoff or punt return back for a touchdown, but they have been able to neutralize the West Allegheny Indians so far tonight. They deserve credit for that.
1st and 10 at the 46-yard line of West Allegheny for the Indians. Brandon Lipford will take the direct snap. He runs to the middle of the field, down to the 50-yard line, crosses over into Moon territory, but he is brought down quickly by Torrey Fisher at the 49-yard line of Moon. It'll be a pickup of 5, bring up 2nd down and 5 for West Allegheny. Brandon Lipford, we're not used to seeing him being ran out of the running back formation in the Wildcat. However, he is getting several snaps at the Wildcat position. Did have quite a few carries last week versus Woodland Hills. As a matter of fact, he had 3 carries for 43 yards. Obviously has elapsed that 3-carry mark in this game thus far versus Moon. 2nd down and 5 for West A inside Tiger territory. Nick Ross in the shotgun, and he will look right the whole way, being pressured, but completes the pass to Brandon Lipford, makes a move, and is brought down to the 40-yard line. Will be good for a West Allegheny 1st down, as he is tackled on the play by Torrey Fisher. 1st and 10 West Allegheny after the pickup of about 9 yards.
Yes, it's become a pattern tonight as Nick Ross has been hitting Brendan Littford with those 10 to 15-yard passes. Just, again, steadily moving the ball down the field. And quickly, back to your comment about Littford being used in the Wildcat. It's unusual, but it's easy to see why they do it, as Littford is very fast, very shifty, and has great versatility, so he can do pretty much whatever his heart desires on the field.
This time in the backfield is Kenny White. Ross in the shotgun formation. Talk is to the right. As the fullback, Ross will take the snap and will throw it over the middle of the field deep for Littford, and it is going to be pulled in by a diving Brandon Littford down at the 2-yard line. Gain of 38 and a 1st and goal coming up for West Allegheny.
Yes, fantastic play fake. Ross throws the ball deep. Great protection, and as you see, diving catch by Brandon Littford, and the Indians are in business, and they can just fall on their nose into the end zone from here.
That was over the cornerback, Ray Quinn Glover. Last year, Littford did go up against Glover and did have 2 touchdowns last year against the Moon Tigers. West Allegheny was victorious in that game, 42-7, as they would finish 8-1 on the 7-2 on the year, with a 7-1 conference record in the last year of the Parkway Conference. Kenny White in the Wildcat at the 1-yard line. He will take the snap, run to the left, and will walk into the end zone for an easy 1-yard touchdown for West Allegheny to make the score 18-0 with 2:38 remaining in the second quarter. 2:17 now showing in the first half clock.
Yeah, it's just business as usual so far for Kenny White, and White was at the Pitt Virginia Tech game last night, so whether or not that is foreshadowing remains to be seen.
Absolutely. Expect to see Kenny White getting some Division I offers in the coming future, along with Brandon Littford, as Upsatnik will get set to kick the extra point, and it is going to split the uprights, making the score 19-0, West Allegheny over Moon. As coming up at the end of the first half, you'll witness the marching bands perform on the West Allegheny Sports Network. Be sure to stick around for the Moon and West Allegheny Marching Pride. For Moon, it is their last hurrah of the 2016 season. For West Allegheny, they will have at least one more week to perform at halftime for the West Allegheny faithful, but be sure to stick around for that whenever halftime hits in 2 minutes and 17 seconds of game time.
Yes, and this is West Allegheny's last home game of the regular season. Normally, at most schools, that would be where the senior night celebrations take place, but Coach Palco a few years ago decided to get the ceremonies out of the way, and all the seniors are recognized the first home game of the season, which this year was against Fox Chapel, as opposed to the regular season finale at home. So that's something a little different that Bob Palco likes to do here at West Allegheny.
That tradition started my senior year in 2014, as we were honored in the first home game of the season versus Chartiers Valley. We won that game 62-14. The parents obviously like it because, one, it's out of the way, and two, it's warm weather, and as opposed to this 50-degree weather that we have here tonight at West Allegheny. Upsatnik will kick a high short kick down to the Moon return man in Glover, who comes up and makes the grab, but he will not get any further than the 25-yard line. He is brought down by a tribe of Indians, 1st and 10 Moon, from the far side 25-yard line. 2:11 now remaining in the first half clock. The Tigers have it. They have not gained a first down yet in this game thus far. They did get close on its second possession after Panucci had the longest run of offensively for Moon, which went for 8 yards, but that was all that the Tigers could muster. 1st and 10 Moon at the 25. As Panucci is all alone in the shotgun formation, 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. As Panucci will take the snap and will tuck it and run up the middle. And he can't avoid Kieran Fearman. He makes the tackle at the 26-yard line before Panucci could sidestep a couple West Allegheny players, bringing up 2nd down and 9.
Yes, this will likely be Moon's last offensive possession as the first half. And they just want to do whatever they can with it. They're down 19-0, not a good start for them at all. They just want to go into the locker room with something to keep their heads up about as this half is drawing to a close at 1:37 and counting.
Same formation as the previous play. Panucci alone in the backfield. 2 receivers to the right, 3 to the left. As Panucci sends a man in motion in Glover. And he'll hand off to Glover on the jet sweep. He is hit hard in the backfield by Matt Holmes. Correction. It is taken on the play by Panucci, but the whistles are blown dead before Panucci could go away for the Moon touchdown. The play is going to, the players are continuing to run the ball as if they didn't hear the referee's whistle, but instead there's a conclave now amongst the referees, head referee John Piora, as discussing whether or not it was going to be a loss or a huge pickup for Moon, which would be a huge wake-up call for the Tigers, rejuvenating the Moon side, but instead it looks like they're going to march this play back within the down territories, and the Moon faithful obviously very unhappy with the call as we are still in the midst of the conclave in the middle of the field for West Allegheny.
Yes, and just when it looked like Moon finally had something going, it has got called back. It's just been that kind of night for the Tigers. Very frustrating, and so far not a good season finale for Moon. And all they can do is hope to change it as this first half draws to a close and throughout the second half.
Head referee John Piora going to talk to Moon's head coach Brendan Hathaway. He is spending his second year as the head coach here at Moon. First year came in 2015. Moon failed to make the playoffs and will fail to do so yet again in 2016. As they are discussing things right now with Coach Brendan Hathaway. Another referee talking to head coach Bob Palco for West Allegheny. It'll either be a big pickup for Moon or a loss for the Tigers. And judging from the Moon coach's body reactions, the ball is going to be placed back at the 26-yard line. Don't know if they're going to repeat the down or make it a loss on the play after Glover was tackled by Holmes, as the Moon faithful very unhappy with head referee Piora and his staff. As we have a stoppage of play, 1:17 remaining here in the first half clock. Looking around the conference, the other team that we did not mention in the conference games, Fox Chapel, they are playing its final non-conference game against the Plum Mustangs, that game being played at Fox Chapel High School. But looking around the Big East Conference, the Kiski Cavaliers are at the Armstrong Riverhawks. The Latrobe is at Connellsville. Franklin Regional is at Gateway. And finally, McKeesport is going to Penn Trafford. The Warriors of Penn Trafford, Franklin Regional, and Kiski all battling for the fourth and final playoff spot in the Big East. All 7 of the rest of the 7 playoff spots have been set. We don't know the seedings. We will not know the official seedings at least until Monday. As you take a look there at head coach for the Moon Tigers, Brendan Hathaway, trying to argue with the call as play has been stopped here at Joe P. DeMcCullough Stadium. As you take a look for the Big East, Armstrong and McKeesport tied for atop the conference. Armstrong does have a win over the Tigers, which would give them the advantage over McKeesport's. They are both 6-1 in the conference. Gateway in third place at 5-2, and then battling for the fourth and final spot, Franklin Regional, Penn Trafford, and Kiski. The situation here is that if Franklin Regional can beat Gateway, they will clinch the fourth and final playoff spot, even with a loss if Kiski loses to Armstrong by virtue of head-to-head victory over Penn Trafford. So Franklin Regional is in the driver's seat.
And the West Allegheny coaching staff is very unhappy with this officiating crew, so you got to wonder exactly what is going on with this ruling. We'll find out in hopefully a moment, but it's been a very confusing turn of events here in the past few minutes.
Also looking around, the Penn Trafford can clinch a playoff spot with a win over McKeesport and a Franklin Regional loss at Gateway. And finally, Kiski, they need a lot of help to get into the playoffs. They need to beat Armstrong and the number one running back, not only in the WPIL, but in the state, in Zane Dudek, who is on pace to break the Whitfield single-season rushing record and is on pace to potentially get 3,000 yards in the regular season at least. And the referees are marching forward, and it looks as if they are going to give Moon the first down to about the 45-yard line where the play was blown dead. So Panucci will pick up a net yard, 19-yard pickup. As a very confusing turn of events going on here as referees are moving up and down the field trying to decide where the ball is going to be located. But it looks as if the ball is going to be spotted at the 45, but the chains are moving still forward into West Allegheny territory, but the head referee, Joe Piora, is down at the 45-yard line, which is where the ball will be spotted, despite Panucci pretty much getting into the end zone on that play, as the play was blown dead before Panucci could get into the end zone. So Moon will have 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. That is the first down for the Tigers. Panucci now in the shotgun. A timeout is taken by West Allegheny. They have one timeout remaining with 1:17 remaining here in the first half. So in the Big East, if Franklin Regional loses and both Penn Trafford and Kiski wins, they will all finish 5-3 and will have split in head-to-head. By virtue of their wins over McKeesport and Armstrong in Week 9, Penn Trafford and Kiski would have more Gardner points, and Penn Trafford would advance because of their head-to-head win over Kiski. So a fight to the finish there in the Big East Conference, and the winner of that game will and the fourth and final playoff spot will more than likely play West Allegheny in the first round of the 5A playoffs, whether that is Franklin Regional, Penn Trafford, or Kiski. West Allegheny has already played Kiski in Week 5 and thrashed them 47-0, the final score in Week 5. As Kiski was undefeated, but ever since that game, they have not won a game since. As nonetheless, we are back to live action. It'll be 1st down and 10. From the Moon 45-yard line, Panucci will be in the shotgun formation. 2 receivers to the left, 3 to the right. Coach Palco pretty much telling all of his coaches to be quiet and quit yapping in order to prevent West Allegheny from giving up more free yardage. As we will resume play, 1:17 remains here in the first half. Panucci in the shotgun formation, 2 to the left, 3 to the right. Panucci will throw over the middle, and it is going to be off the fingertips of his intended receiver, Zach Duncan, bringing up 2nd down and 10 after the first play that has elapsed within the last 10 minutes here in the second quarter.
Yes, frustrating night passing the ball for Moon continues as Panucci not quite able to connect with Zach Duncan. The offense, they need to do something. They haven't been able to run or pass the ball very well, and Coach Hathaway is going to have to do a lot of motivating in the locker room, I would imagine, to get his troops back into this.
Panucci in the quarterback position and the shotgun. He will tuck it and run up the middle and avoids Kieran Fearman down to the 45-yard line. Will pick up the first down as he falls forward to the 43-yard line. West Allegheny trying to preserve the shutout. Moon trying to break up the shutout, as it'll be 1st and 10 Moon at the Indian 43-yard line. West Allegheny has recorded numerous shutouts on the year, including in Week 1 versus Fox Chapel, Week 3, Week 4, and Week 5 against, respectively, Char Valley, Baldwin, and Kiski. So 4 shutouts out of their 8 games. Half their games have ended in shutouts. They look to make it 5 of 9 in this game versus Moon. Panucci in the shotgun formation sends Duncan in motion. Will take him off the sweep. Direction Panucci on the read option and will fall forward to the 40-yard line where he is tackled on the play by Noah Ledford. And a timeout will be taken on the play by the Tigers. So now both teams have 1 timeout remaining with 39 ticks to talk in the first half clock. West Allegheny is winning right now 19-0.
Yes, you're starting to see the dual threat capabilities of Anthony Panucci. He's had some nice runs on this drive. The last one, or 2 plays ago, I should say, with the read option. They've been able to move the ball down the field here well with 40 seconds to go here in the first half. The Tigers will receive the ball to start the second half, so that gives off a glimmer of hope. And Moon is hoping that, West Allegheny will get the ball to start the second half. That is my bad. But nonetheless, 40 seconds left here in the first half. And Moon would like to put some points on the board and head into the locker room with some momentum, as well as eliminate all possibility of them being West Allegheny's fifth shutout victim on the 2016 regular season.
Panucci breaks the huddle. He will be in the shotgun formation. 2 receivers to the left, 3 to the right. As the Moon Tigers have already been shut out once this season versus Armstrong in week 1. They lost 35-0 to the Riverhawks at home. As Panucci will roll to the left as he looks to pass, can't avoid the pressure as he will be spun down to the turf by Kieran Fearmont. Second sack on the day for West Allegheny. 16.5 sacks overall for this West Allegheny defense. That one registered by Kieran Fearmont. 3rd down and 8.
Yes, defensive coordinator Brian Cornell loves an aggressive defense. Always bringing pressure. They blitz a lot, and you're starting to see what the West Allegheny defensive line can do, and Coach Cornell has to be pleased with his performance from this defense tonight, as well as the rest of the season so far.
Moon will take a timeout, and as you mentioned, Brian Cornell has been very pleased with the way that this West Allegheny defense has been playing thus far on the year. As a matter of fact, if they can preserve the shutouts, they will be the second best defense in West Allegheny history. Thus far, they've given them 39 points on the year. And the first place, or the best overall defense in West Allegheny history in the regular season, that is, came in 1999 whenever West Allegheny won the Whitfield Championship over Bell Vernon. 38-12 will go on to lose in the state finals to Strathaven 21-7. But in that regular season, West Allegheny scored 343 points, gave up 17 points in 9 games. That is 6 shutouts on the season.
Yes, 1999, that was Bob Palco's second Whitfield title team at West Allegheny. His son Tyler was a star quarterback and safety, and truly one of the greatest teams in the history of this program.
Panucci in the shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, as he will look to pass, stepping in the pocket, and will complete the pass to his wide receiver, Zach Duncan. He is brought down immediately by Delavade, but he will be short of the first down marker, bringing up 4th down and 1, or make that 2. But now it's decision time for Brendan Hathaway. The correction, that is the end of the first half, as Moon is unable to get on the board in the final moments of half number 1, as West Allegheny holds a 19-0 advantage over Moon. So a pretty quick first half, at least before the confusing turn of events that led to a 19-yard gain by Anthony Panucci. However, if you're West Allegheny, you got to be mostly happy with its performance thus far in the first half, despite having long drives against this Moon team and coming up with 19 points to show up for it.
Yes, if you compare it to the first game we did on this roof, which was
Our final selection this evening is the closing movement of the competition production and features elements from Adagio for Strings, Dance of Vengeance.
O wise men, at their end don't bow in life. Do not go gently.
The band is under the direction of Nicholas Barthen, with assistance by William Redd and Associate Director Alan Fear. Auxiliary instructor is Ellen Martin. We would like to thank our corporate partners for their continued support of the Moon Area bands. Gold partner Clearview Federal Credit Union, Platinum partner Kenny Ross Toyota, and Premier partner Brighton Music Center. Thank you for your attention and support, and as always, go Tigers!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2016 West Allegheny Marching Pride Halftime Show. Our show theme this year is Piano Men. We will perform some of Elton John's hits, including Your Song and Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, as well as Billy Joel's hits, My Life and Only the Good Die Young. Also included are We Didn't Start the Fire and Piano Man. The band is under the field leadership of seniors Madison Heidenreich and Sean Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and enjoy our show, Piano Men. Our next song was released as a single from Elton John's 1973 studio album, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Ladies and gentlemen, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. Our next song was originally released in 1971 and features horn players Katie Burgo, Abby Leslie, and Emma Columbia. Ladies and gentlemen, your song. Our next song is an arrangement that includes two of Billy Joel's hits, My Life and Only the Good Die Young, featuring Cress Oliver on tenor sax. We will finish our show with We Didn't Start the Fire and Piano Man. We hope you've enjoyed our performance this evening.
check your tickets. The winner tonight on the 50-50 raffle will receive $700.
Welcome back to Joe P. D. McCullough Stadium. We're at halftime here of this Week 9 matchup between West Allegheny and the Moon Tigers. With the score, West Allegheny up 19-0 over the Moon Tigers. However, I should say, another score that is pretty significant. Woodland Hills and Upper St. Clair in a battle right now, but the Wolverines are shutting out Upper St. Clair right now, 28-0 at halftime. And Woodland Hills has forced 5 turnovers in that first half. But speaking of Woodland Hills, we're going to go back to last week and check out what West Allegheny did to a very daunting Woodland Hills team. Brandon Lipford, the player of the game last week versus Woodland Hills with 5 catches, 137 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns. Leads all West Allegheny receivers thus far in receptions as West Allegheny leads 19-0 here at halftime. However, it's with the exception of that gaffe late in the first half with the 19-yard no call for Moon with Anthony Panucci, quarterback keeper. You got to be really pleased with how West Allegheny has played thus far, not only in this game but as a collective unit.
Yes, the last game we did here was at Hampton, and although West Allegheny was able to win, it was not a fundamentally sound football game, and nothing that Coach Palco was too happy about. However, the past 2 weeks have been a much better as far as fundamental football and teamwork goes for West Allegheny. Not a lot of penalties, not a lot of mistakes, and although the score 19-0 does not look terribly lopsided, I feel that this game has been a little worse than that score would indicate. I feel that the reason West Allegheny has been held to 19 points is because on their touchdown possessions and 1 field goal possession, they have kept the ball for a long period of time. So overall, Coach Palco has to be pleased with his team's performance in the first half, and really not a whole lot to complain about from West Allegheny standpoint.
Absolutely, as we are going to get set to get underway here in the second half, Nick Morrow will be kicking off for the Moon Tigers. He is doing something very similar to our very own DJ Absatnik. Every point that he makes, regardless of if it's an extra point or a field goal, he will donate to childhood cancer awareness. So Nick Morrow and DJ Absatnik combining together to raise awareness for childhood cancer as we're getting set to get underway here in the second half. A short high kick down to the right side taken by Will Weber. They did this last year, and a very similar result as Will Weber gets down to the 35-yard line where he is tackled on the play by Brady Sunday amongst others. And West Allegheny will take its first possession of the second half from that 35-yard line, first down and 10. West Allegheny did dominate the first half pretty much in every standpoint of the game, despite the fact that the Indians did have very low methodical drives against this Moon Tiger defense.
Yes, and I'm sure Coach Palco, as well as offensive coordinator Mark Davis, just want to see more of the same. Play typical West Allegheny football, short games, 10, 15-yard gains throughout the drive, and hopefully it ends in blue.
Brandon Lipford now in the quarterback position. He will fake the pitch and will take it himself up the middle and fight his way forward to the 40-yard line, where he'll be brought down on the play by Torrey Fisher, amongst others, and Josh Burns down to the 40-yard line. That's a pick up a 5, second down and 5 for West Allegheny.
Yes, and Brandon, you mentioned in the first half that we do not normally see Lipford this frequently in the Wildcat role, but he's been used extensively as a running back today, and you have to wonder if it's something that's going to continue as West Allegheny moves into the postseason.
Lipford has pretty much gotten the ball on pretty much 75% of West Allegheny snaps, regardless of if it's at quarterback, at running back, at receiver. But this time it's Kenny White at running back who will take it and has a hole on the left end. Gets a good block from Lipford, and White will reverse his field, trying to make up for some lost ground. But he'll be brought down at the 40-yard line, making the tackle Jake McKee, the 5'11", 180-pound senior. But we do have a flag on the play.
And Brandon Lipford appears to be in pain, not sure exactly what area, looks to be his lower body, but he is running to the sideline, so hopefully all is okay there.
Lipford did get called for a holding against West Allegheny, costing them 10 yards from the spot of the foul down to the 30-yard line. Lipford is agonizingly in pain right now. He's on his knees, clutching, looks like his left hand right now. Could potentially be a left hand injury. Hopeful to see him coming back into the game, but nonetheless it'll be second down and 15 from the 30-yard line as West Allegheny will break the huddle. Nick Ross coming in at quarterback. He will be in the shotgun formation with a receiver to the left, 3 receivers to the right, along with his running back Weber. And he will fake the handoff to Weber and throw the screen to Weber, who tries to make up for lost ground on the penalty, but gets back to the line of scrimmage, the original one, as he is brought down on the play by McKee again, bringing up third down, and they're going to mark the ball at the 32-yard line, so that'll make it 3rd and 13 from the 32-yard line.
And this is a big play for Moon. They are down 19-0. They have no wiggle room for error. They need to make a stop on West Allegheny on this first possession of the second half, and they need to do it. I would say maybe they need to do it now because they don't need to lose any more time of possession to this West Allegheny offense. So huge 3rd and 12 here.
Nick Ross on 3rd and 12 will be in the shotgun formation. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, as he will take the snap, and he will look to throw over the middle, completing the pass to Mateo. No correction. It'll bounce off the hands of Van Damia. Coming in and making the hit for Moon was Josh Burns, and West Allegheny will be going 3 and out on its first possession of the second half. Not something we are very accustomed to saying within this 2016 season.
Yes, and Moon's defensive coordinator, Shane Newhouse, has got to be pleased with his defensive effort in forcing that 3 and out, and now DJ Upsetnik is on the punt, and let's see what the Tigers offense can do if they can get anything going and maybe break the shutout.
Upsetnik standing at his own 18-yard line. Zach Duncan going back to receive. He stands at the 35. Upsetnik's kick nearly blocked by McConaughey, but he gets it away, and it will trundle to the far boundary and roll down all the way to the 32-yard line of Moon, maybe the 31. As, again, you look at DJ's stats on the season, 9 attempts, 9 made field goals on the year. Longest kick was 47 yards, which was last week in a very wet and rainy Wolverina in Turtle Creek. And he has scored 57 total points thus far in the season, at least coming into this game. He has already scored he scored 5 points, 2 extra points, and a field goal early on in the game. Moon takes his first offensive possession from the 32-yard line on the far hash mark. 1st and 10, 9:47 remains in the third quarter. Panucci will remain in the backfield with nobody around him. He will complete the pass quickly to Zach Duncan, who tries to make some men miss, but he is met and driven backward by Logan Malatak down to the 41-yard line. It'll be a pickup of about 9 yards, bringing up 2nd down and 1 for the Tigers.
And Moon will gladly take that as former Bob Palco assistant Ryan Lynn is running their offense. Coach Lynn was hired by Coach Hathaway before the start of last season. He is a teacher at Moon, and Moon is looking for any offense they can get right now, and let's see if they can continue to move the ball and tire this Westside defense out a little bit, which they have not done a good job of doing.
2nd down and 11. Panucci sends a man in motion from left to right, and Duncan. Panucci will take the direct snap, tries to do something with it, but is met immediately in the backfield by Matt Holmes for a loss of 1. 3rd down and 2, and luckily for the West Allegheny faithful, Brandon Lipford has returned to the game. He is playing on the left corner position right now. But nonetheless, it's a 3rd down and 2 for West Allegheny for Moon after the West Allegheny stop by Matt Holmes.
That was a great play by Matt Holmes. Holmes, a 4-year starter, a senior captain. Him and DJ Sednick both played prominent roles as freshmen in West Allegheny's Whitfield Championship win 4 years ago.
Panucci in the backfield with 2 receivers to each side. Make that 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and we do have some movement along the left side of the offensive line. And it will be a false start call against the Moon Tigers. More specifically, Zach Bennett, the 5'10", 255-pound junior, did get caught for moving there on the offensive line, pushing them back 5 yards, making a 3rd and 2, turning into a 3rd down and 7.
And those are mistakes that just cannot be made by a team down 19-0. And already the underdog to begin with. Moon needs to do everything as well as possible if they want to have a chance to come back in this ball game, and having false start penalties like that is not going to get the job done.
Temperatures have dipped down in the mid-40s here in Imperial, Pennsylvania. For this Week 9 matchup between Moon and West Allegheny, the Tigers have it 3rd and 7 from their own 35. As Panucci will throw the fade route over the middle of the field, and it is caught on the play by Ray Quinn Glover over the cornerback Malatak. And it'll be a 1st down and 10 for Moon at the 40-yard line after the 25-yard completion from Panucci to Ray Quinn Glover. And Glover is being one of the lone bright spots for this Moon offensive attack.
Yes, as a sophomore, hopefully for Moon, Glover can continue to develop as a player. He was in man coverage with Logan Malatak on that play, and he won the battle. And as a result, the Tigers' offense stays on the field.
Panucci now guides the offense 1st and 10, 40 yards away from the first score for Moon. He's in the shotgun, hands off to Brady Sunday, who is hit hard as he crosses the line of scrimmage by Matt Holmes, amongst others, down to the 38-yard line, bringing up 2nd down and 8 for the Tigers, as the West Allegheny defense looking to preserve the 5th shutout in 9 games here in this 2016 regular season. They will be at home next week for the first round of the WPIAL playoffs. They will more than likely play the 4th-place team out of the Big East Conference, whether that is Franklin Regional, Penn Trafford, or Kiski. That is yet to be determined as of right now. Panucci in the shotgun right now with Sunday in the backfield. Panucci will throw over the middle to Bonner, and the pass is broken up on the play by Noah Ledford. Good job by the 5'7" cornerback Noah Ledford being able to jar the ball loose from Bonner's grasp. 3rd down.
Yes, Ledford a little undersized at 5'7", but he plays with great intensity. He's done a fantastic job for the Indians as a defensive back, and he's played a little linebacker too. So Ledford has been a key contributor. This is the first season that he's seen legitimate playing time, so he's been a big part in Brian Cornell's defense.
It seems to be a trend that there have been undersized players wearing number 17 being considerable threats. Tyler Amador, Colin Cunningham come to mind, and now Noah Ledford donning the number 17 as the undersized corner. As on 3rd down, Panucci hit hard on the play, and Josh Burns was the intended receiver. He gets turned inside out by Brandon Lipford. No call made. It'll be 4th down as the pressure brought on by Panucci. Lipford turns Burns inside out. And it'll be 4th down and 8, and now it's decision time for offensive coordinator Ryan Lynn and his Moon offensive attack.
As you see this replay, pressure comes from the edges. Again, Brian Cornell loves to blitz. He does that there. Panucci's able to get rid of it, but Lipford makes sure on his coverage that it does not lead to anything at all. So as a result, 4th and 8.
And the offense will stay on the field. Panucci in the shotgun. Look for potentially a pooch punt as well, as Moon has done this in the past before against West Allegheny, but instead they will throwing over the middle, and it will be well over the head of Josh Burns, and the shutout remains intact. West Allegheny takes over 1st and 10 from its own 38-yard line as Panucci had a man open in Burns, but just could not hit him in stride. 1st and 10, West Allegheny.
I do like the call from Coach Hathaway. Moon needs to score not on every possession, but they need to score fast. And punting the ball, I do not feel would have sent a good message to his players as far as their chances to win this game. So I like the aggressiveness from Coach Hathaway. Just an overthrown ball by Panucci, and West Allegheny takes over on downs.
Nick Ross will guide the offense. They have to go 62 yards to go up 25-0. Were to score a touchdown. 7:18 showing in the 3rd quarter. They lead 19-0. Ross will hand out to Will Weber, and Weber spinning his way forward down the 40-yard line where he is spun down to the turf by Austin McConaughey amongst others. Down to the 41-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and about 7 for West Allegheny.
That's another tackle by Austin McConaughey. He has had a solid night at the linebacker position for Moon. This is senior night for Moon. This is his last game, and he is making sure that he's making the most of it in spite of his team being down.
Nick Ross guides the offense. Last week he completed 7 of 12 for 160 passing yards versus Woodland Hills. 137 of those went to Braden Lipford, and both of his touchdowns were thrown to number 19. Nick Ross in the shotgun with 2 receivers to the left, but he will take the snap and run to the left, and he will dump the ball off to his wide-open man, Vandamia, who cannot corral in the pass, as Moon applied some pretty good pressure there on the quarterback, Ross, to force the bad pass to Vandamia, and it'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, not a whole lot Nick Ross could do on that play. The Moon defense read the play perfectly and was able to pressure Ross into making a poor throw that Mateo Vandamia was not able to haul in, and that sets up a 3rd and 7.
As you see on the shot right there, the Moon faithful traveling very well from about 15 minutes north of Imperial. They are located right by the Pittsburgh International Airport. And not a very far drive from Moon to West Allegheny, as Ross in the shotgun with 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right in Brandon Lipford. And Ross will look over the middle, and he's being pressured by McConaughey. Throws to the right, and it is going to be nearly intercepted, but instead it will fall incomplete, nearly picked off by Moon's quarterback, Anthony Panucci. So it'll be 4th down and 7 for West Allegheny, and the Indians can't get anything going offensively as they're forced to punt for the second time.
Yes, and the Moon defense has had a much better start to the second half, forcing 2 West Allegheny punts on the first possession. And if I'm defensive coordinator Shane Newhouse, I'm very pleased with the pressure that my defense is getting on Nick Ross, as well as holding West Allegheny to not accomplishing much of anything on those first 2 drives.
Hupsatnik looks to punt it away. He will take the snap, and pressure put on, but no block is made as it will roll down to the middle of the field, take a moon bounce to the 32, where it'll be down on the play by Tyler Anderson. 1st down and 10 coming up for the Tigers at the Moon 33-yard line with 6:11 remaining in the third quarter. And also for the Moon Tiger faithful, the girls soccer team is in action tomorrow right here at West Allegheny High School when they take on the Ambridge Bridgers, as the Moon girls soccer team is looking for its first Whitfield Championship appearance since 2012, where they lost to Mars 2-1 in that game. However, Moon would rebound and go on to win the state championship game in a very dominant season for Moon's girls soccer team. They went 24-2. This year they are 19-1 and look to make it 20-1, but more importantly, advance to Highmark Stadium and compete for the Whitfield Championship when they take on Ambridge at West Allegheny.
Yes, Moon known for a dominant girls soccer program.
Panucci in the shotgun with Sunday in the backfield. He will complete the quick pass to Torrey Fisher, who has all kinds of room, and he'll be brought down at the 50-yard line by Malatak. Fisher was wide open on the play. Not very good coverage there by West Allegheny as Moon caught them napping, and it'll be 1st down and 10 at the 50.
Yes, the Moon offense has been able to move the ball into West Allegheny territory on a few occasions tonight. West Allegheny looking to preserve that shutout, as they have 4 shutouts on the year but have not had one since week 5. So you got to wonder if that is on the minds of these players as something to strive for on the regular season finale.
Panucci will take the snap, roll to his right as he is being pressured by Delavade, and Delavade will bring him down the backfield for a sack. Panucci loses several yards on the play down to the 37-yard line. That'll be a loss of about 12 as Delavade records the 3rd total sack for West Allegheny.
Yes, and I think Moon is tired of seeing a number 42 play for West Allegheny, as Armand Delavade wore number 42 from 2011 through 2014. He was a great player at linebacker, now at Youngstown State, and Anthony is following in his brother's footsteps. And just a family affair. Both Delavades, hard-nosed players, and huge parts of this West Allegheny football program.
And speaking of family affair, Armin and Anthony have a cousin that graduated from Moon High School in 2012, and Dan, as the pass is complete to Josh Burns, the screen pattern, as he is going to be brought down on the play by Lipford and Weber down to about the 43-yard line as a pickup of about 4, making up for some lost yardage, but it'll still be 3rd and long. As Dan Delavade graduated from Moon in the year 2012, could not get over the hump of West Allegheny, went 0-4 in all of his attempts against West Allegheny, and his senior year, he went up against Armand in a battle of youth versus experience, and youth came away victorious in that one. West Allegheny won in that game 31-7. But it'll be 3rd and 16 for Moon. Anthony Panucci in the backfield, but we will have a timeout called by Coach Brendan Hathaway and his Moon Tiger team with 4:15 showing in the third quarter clock. When they come back, they'll have 3rd and 16 from the 44-yard line.
Yes, and although I've been maybe a little critical of Moon as far as their performance goes tonight, I do feel that they have a young team that is on the rise, and Brendan Hathaway is the right man for the job. He spent 5 years as coach of Slippery Rock High School. That is in District 10 of the PIAA. He has assembled a good staff as well. Ryan Lynn, former Coach Bob Palco assistant, was lured away from coaching at West Allegheny by Brendan Hathaway before the start of last season. He is Moon's offensive coordinator, also teaches health and physical education at Moon, and is their softball coach. Bill McHugh is also a former Bob Palco assistant, as well as a former Joe Hamilton assistant at Blackhawk. In addition, Sean Bisson was a grad assistant for Dave Wonstead at Pitt, as well as a Pitt graduate. And Shane Newhouse was a national champion at Westminster as a player back in 1989. So a lot of experience, a lot of savvy from this Moon coaching staff, and I think they're on the rise.
3rd and 16 now as we return to live action from the 44-yard line for Moon. Do have some movement, no call made. Panucci throws the pass to Nick Sebastian, slips away from Lifford, but cannot escape Anthony Delavade, bringing him down the 45-yard line. And that'll bring up 4th down and 5 for the Tigers.
Yes, and Brendan, one thing I've noticed is the absence of Billy Sunday in this game. He has not done a whole lot. Last week had 156 yards rushing, or Braden Sunday got confused with somebody else. But anyway, 156 yards rushing, and not a lot of action from Sunday tonight as the West Allegheny defense has done a great job of containing him.
4th and 5, the Moon offense stays on the field. They're 0 for 2 thus far on 4th down. As Panucci will complete the pass to Josh Burns for the first down, make it 1 for 3 now on 4th down. He is hit immediately by Noah Ledford at the 34, but again, it will be a first down for the Tigers after the 11-yard pass and catch to Burns.
Yes, Burns will be missed. He is a senior captain for this Moon Tigers team, a huge part of their offense, and like the call to go for it on 4th down, and unlike the first time, it was successful as Moon's in business here on offense.
1st and 10, Moon at the 34. As Josh Burns gets sent in motion, takes the sweep around the right-hand side, tripped up by Malatak. As usually there is some success on the jet sweep to Burns, but to no avail this time. Moon did want a personal foul called against West Allegheny for a late hit. However, it looks like we may have no call, but there is a conclave among head referee Joe Piora, and instead we are going to have a personal foul against West Allegheny. It'll be a 15-yard march from the end of the run. As you see on the replay there, Raekwon Glover was thrown to the turf there by Kenny White. White's emotions getting the best of him on that play, and it cost West Allegheny 15 yards. Moon has a free first down inside the 20.
Yes, and coaches are not going to like that. West Allegheny was doing a great job of keeping their emotions to themselves so far tonight, but got a little heat on that play, and as a result, 15 more yards, and hopefully we don't see any more of that tonight.
Anthony Panucci in the shotgun. Brady Sunday to his right, and it was taken by Panucci instead. Brady Sunday will take the handoff. He is dumped down by Will Weber. Panucci hit hard by Matt Holmes, so that play pretty much lesser of two evils on that play, and it'll be 2nd down and 11. Make that 10 for Moon.
Yes, and Brian Cornell has to be pleased with the job his defense has done on Brady Sunday. Sunday had 156 yards rushing with 3 touchdowns last week against Baldwin, and he has been kept in check. He has been kept in check throughout the night, and West Allegheny deserves a lot of credit for shutting him down.
2nd down and 10 for Moon. Panucci in the backfield with the receiver to the right, to the left. As Panucci will take the snap, looking and throwing over the middle, complete to Nick Bonner. Bonner gets inside the 10 as he will lose a shoe, and he is brought down on the play by Delavade inside of the 10. And it's going to be very close to the first down. The line again is the 9, and looks like it is going to be pretty much based off of whatever the referees decide, and they are going to give Moon the first down call. 1st and goal for the Tigers at the 9-yard line. West Allegheny needs to dig down deep if they want to preserve the shutout.
Yes, it's interesting to see if Moon will try to get Brady Sunday going, or rather have Panucci try for the end zone, as they have 9 yards to go for a touchdown. So let's see what Coach Ryan Lynn decides to do here.
And Coach Ryan Lynn will decide to have Panucci in the backfield and will throw the ball. No, he is sacked on the play yet again. Coming in and converging, E.J. Bauer coming in on the sack. West Allegheny's 4th sack of Anthony Panucci. This time recorded by E.J. Bauer, the first-time starter for West Allegheny. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 17.
Gotta love E.J. Bauer's performance tonight. He's made a few big plays, filling in for Cameron Cornell, and you're going to see here just a fantastic quarterback rush, and Panucci did not have a chance. Bauer has done very well, and you have to be impressed with it being his first start.
Pretty much the mentality is next man up. If one man goes down and you're up next, you're expected to perform at a high level, and Bauer is fulfilling those requirements thus far, as it'll be second and goal from the 17. Panucci in the backfield, 2 receivers to the left, 3 to the right. Throws the slant pattern to the receiver, and getting down to about the 4-yard line is that Moon Tiger receiver in Ramon Dean, down to the 4-yard line. Bring up third down and goal from the 4. So Moon is in business yet again.
Yes, and you have to believe if Moon were not to convert on this third down, based on their history, they've gone for it on fourth down twice in this second half, and you have to think they'd go again even if they do not convert on this third down.
Third down and goal for Moon at the 4. Panucci in the backfield, 2 of the receivers to the left, 3 to the right. As Panucci looks left the whole way, being pressured by Holmes, tucks in and run, and he is brought down in the backfield by Matt Holmes, down to the 6. And that'll bring up fourth down and goal, and yet again, it is decision time for Coach Ryan Lynn. They already went for it on fourth down and converted successfully. And if they can convert this time on fourth down, if they decide to go for it when we start the fourth quarter, it will be 2 for 2 on this drive. But again, that is the end of the third quarter. A very uneventful third quarter in terms of scoring, but the Moon Tigers did move the ball pretty well against West Allegheny, and that half was pretty much owned by the Tigers.
Yes, very solid third quarter from Moon. They are showing West Allegheny, if nothing else, that they won't go quietly into the night. They are battling on defense. They are moving the ball on offense. Overall, just a completely very different Moon Tiger team than we saw in the first half. And it has been working out well for Moon in the third quarter, and we will see if this drive that they're on will end in a touchdown as this fourth quarter begins with Moon having the ball 4th and goal from the West Allegheny 6-yard line.
We're getting ready to start the fourth stanza here at Joe P. DiMcCullough Stadium. West Allegheny has every matchup since 2007 looking to win their 10th straight game versus the Moon Tigers. The last time the Tigers defeated West Allegheny was in 2006, but the road ahead here, West Allegheny has clinched the top seed in the Allegheny 9. They will find out who they play on Halloween night for the Whitfield Pairings show. You can tune into that on the MSA Sports Network, and whoever that team, the team that is chosen to face off against West Allegheny, will come to Joe P. DiMcCullough Stadium on next Friday to take on West Allegheny, but Moon will attempt a field goal as we are getting ready to start quarter number 4. Nick Morrow attempting the 22-yard field goal out of the hold of Panucci. He gets a snap, and the kick is blocked by Malatak, taken back by Brandon Lipford, but the referees are going to blow the ball dead as Lipford will take it to the house, but nonetheless, it's not going to matter as, again, the play is blown dead. There are flags that fly as this ball is going to be spotted where West Allegheny recovered the ball as Nick Morrow here coming in and making the stop again. Guess who? It's Logan Malatak, the special team specialist for West Allegheny. He has been nearly unblockable on PAT and field goal block, as that was his 4th field goal blocked, including a field goal block, a punt block in Week 5 versus Kiski that resulted in a safety. As again, we will decide what's going on. And judging from the body language of Will Weber, who is very unhappy, that play is not going to go for a touchdown. However, by rules, since it was a defensive recovery, the ball is going to be spotted where West Allegheny recovered the ball. That was Brandon Lipford that recovered it, well behind the play where everyone was. So wherever that ball was picked up by Lipford, that is where the Indians will take over. That is after the penalty is decided.
Yes, I believe the rules in high school football are when you block a kick, the team that recovers the block is not allowed to advance the ball further upfield. Therefore, that likely prevented a Penn State, Ohio State recreation from that. But nonetheless, great play by Logan Malatak. He has been an absolute animal on special teams, just shooting through the gaps, blocking kicks, doing everything his coaches ask of him. And as a baseball kid, I'm sure Coach Palco is very happy that Logan has decided to play football, along with Connor Johnson.
A similar play. This play was kind of shades of the 2012 PIAA quarterfinals matchup between West Allegheny and Erie Cathedral Prep. That was my sophomore year. Joe, your freshman year. And if you recall, late in the first half, there was a punt that was fumbled by Cathedral Prep and recovered by West Allegheny. I believe it was Jake Johnson. And Jake Johnson did run it in for a touchdown. We were all celebrating as if we did score. However, by rule, you are not allowed to advance the ball defensively once you recover the football. And, of course, we were upset about it, but we didn't know about the rule until later on. And now that we are aware of this rule, it shouldn't come as a surprise that the ball is placed at the 30-yard line, which is where Lipford did recover the blocked kick. And the Indians will have first down and 10 from the 30. Kenny White will be in the Wildcat formation with the fullback, Anthony Takas, to his left. Kenny White takes a snap, has a huge hold down the left-hand side, turns the corner at the 50-yard line, and he is going to be ran out of bounds by Zach Duncan at the Moon 43-yard line. So another big pickup there by Kenny White, puts him over 100 yards rushing.
Yes, just when it looked like Moon was getting some momentum, he had the block kick and he had that big run by Kenny White. So hopefully West Allegheny is getting that momentum back, and their offense is finding its legs again and waking up.
As you see here, good block there thrown on the play by Connor Johnson as Kenny White turned the corner, ran out of bounds by Duncan, but nonetheless, it is a big gain of 27 yards for Kenny White down to the 43. It's a first and 10. And Kenny White again is in that Wildcat formation with two receivers to the right side, along with the fullback Takas to Kenny White's right. And White will take that direct snap, has a hole around the right end, and drives his way forward, pushing the pile down inside the 40-yard line as the entire Moon team will make the tackle. Making the initial hit for Moon was number 74 for the Tigers. Again, we do not have a name for number 74. But yet again, it will be a gain of 4 for West Allegheny. Second down and 6 pending.
Yeah, it's an interesting note about West Allegheny's Wildcat formation. I believe it was in either 2004 or 2005 that Mark Davis, who was the offensive coordinator back then as he is today, decided to install the Wildcat with their star running back at the time, who was Doran Dickerson. And it was a few years before college football and the NFL caught on to the Wildcat. Not that West Day invented it, but they did it before a lot of other people did, and it has worked for them over the past decade.
As we will have a timeout call by West Allegheny. As you mentioned, Wildcat wasn't really popular until 2008. The first time I recall seeing it was whenever the Miami Dolphins used it against the New England Patriots. Nobody knew what to do with it, and that was the year where they were missing Tom Brady, but still, no excuse for New England to lose as bad as they did to Miami. The Dolphins came out victorious 38-13, and that was pretty much the birth of what was known as the Wildcat.
Yes, that was Ronnie Brown, who played at Auburn University. He had a few very good years as a running back for the Miami Dolphins. The first I remember seeing the Wildcat was on Thanksgiving weekend in 2007. LSU was playing Arkansas. And if you remember how good Arkansas's Dave McFadden was in college, he absolutely torched the top-ranked Tigers defense. Of course, LSU would go on to win the national championship, but in one of the better college games I've ever watched, the Razorbacks were able to defeat the Tigers in Tiger Stadium 50-48 in triple overtime. Just a magnificent performance from a one-of-a-kind player in Doran McFadden.
Second down and about 6 coming up for West Allegheny as we resume live play. 10:45 remains in the game. Kenny White in the Wildcat sends a man in motion from right to left in Delevade. And Kenny White eludes a couple tacklers. No, he cannot. He is brought down for a big loss in the play by the Moon defense. Coming in and making the stop, Alec Yoakum for the Moon Tigers. That'll bring up a loss of 8. And it'll be third down and about 14 as the Moon Tiger defense, they have given up the big play a couple times thus far in the game. However, for the most part, they have kept the West Allegheny offense in check as we have what is a potential passing down coming up for West Allegheny.
Yes, after that big run by Kenny White to start the drive, it looked like the Indians' offense was finding the legs it had in the first half, but past few plays have not gone according to plan, and as a result, 3rd down and 14, and what I would think is a passing down.
And it is. Nick Ross will look to pass, avoids pressure, and he is going to be brought down and taken down for a sack. And coming in and pushing Ross back to force the play to be blown dead was the Moon Tiger defender, Frankie Sterator. The 6'2", 195-pound junior for Moon. Hasn't seen a whole lot of playing time. Is anticipated to see a whole lot more next year, as the Moon Tigers are expected to be back better than ever next year, as West Allegheny will punt following the sack and bring up 4th down and very long for West A.
Great play there by Frankie Sterator. He is related to Gene Sterator, who is a famous NFL and college referee, a very good ref at that.
Upsatnik will punt this one away. It's a low, long drive kick that will take a West Allegheny bounce down to the 25-yard line. Will roll dead to the 23. And that's where Moon will take its next possession on the 4th quarter. 1st down and 10 with 8 minutes and 58 seconds remaining here in the game. West Allegheny has scored 2 touchdowns already. A 1-yard quarterback or 1-yard keeper on the Wildcat by Kenny White, and a 7-yard pass from Nick Ross to Connor Johnson. A safety was also recorded after Brady Sunday was brought down in the backfield by Will Weber in the 2nd quarter. And in its first possession, DJ Upsatnik boomed a 24-yard field goal, make that 34 yards field goal in the 1st quarter. As Moon is out on the field, Anthony Panucci in the shotgun formation, Brady Sunday in the backfield, a receiver to the left, 2 to the right. And Panucci will give that ball to Sunday. Sunday goes his way up forward, and he is brought down at the 27-yard line by Kieran Fearmont, amongst others. Bring up 2nd down and 6. And for Brady Sunday, a very frustrating game for the sophomore tailback. That was his longest play of the game, and it was for 4 yards.
Yes, and it's a credit, too, to West Allegheny defense, as we talked about earlier. Not easy at all to do anything against West A's defense, but particularly run the ball, as the West A front 7 under Brian Cornell is absolutely fantastic and has been the whole season.
2nd down and 6. Anthony Panucci in the backfield. He will roll to his right, keeping the ball and looking to pass. And the pass is going to be pulled in by Glover. Takes a hit from Lipford, holds on, and it will be a 1st down for Moon. Raekwon Glover is impressing thus far for Moon. Down to the 43-yard line goes Glover. 17-yard gain and a 1st down.
Yes, Raekwon Glover, one of those young players that gives Moon fans a lot of hope that their team will continue to improve under Coach Hathaway. He takes a hit from Whitford, holds on to the ball. He's been a factor in special teams and receiving, and hopefully for Moon, he will be a building block that this program can build off of over the next 2 years.
1st down and 10 from the 43-yard line. Panucci will look to throw, and he has an avenue up the middle, and he will run out of real estate as he's brought down to the 48-yard line by Anthony Delave, bringing up a 2nd down and 5. And as you mentioned, Moon is looking to pretty much go up from here, as they had a disappointing season, as they are 3-5 on the year. And if the score were to remain the same in the final, then Moon will finish the year 3-6. As hopefully Moon can improve in the upcoming years and hopefully bring up a crosstown rivalry between West Allegheny and Moon in the coming years. Anthony Panucci again in the backfield in the shotgun formation with a sidecar to each side. Panucci will throw up the middle and is swatted away by Kieran Fearmont, bringing up a 3rd down and 5 for Moon, as West Allegheny putting the pressure on Panucci.
Yes, outstanding night as usual for Kieran Fearmont. I think it'd be very good, going back to your comment on Moon being on the way up, I think it'd be excellent for the Whippeal if West A and Moon would both be on the same level at the same time, as not only are they 2 of the 3 original Parkway teams that are in this Big 9 conference, but they're very close in proximity. West A students and Moon students, a lot of them know each other, and the crosstown rivalry, I think, would be a very good thing for the Whippeal.
Panucci on 3rd down will look to pass, rolls out to his right, and he will try to elude the pressure, runs back to his left where he has all kinds of room, and he'll be caught from behind by Brennan Simmons, but a very obvious horse collar tackle by Brennan Simmons will cost West Allegheny 15 yards. And as we mentioned at halftime, West Allegheny did limit the penalties. However, very sloppy second half has led to Moon being able to kind of creep back into this game, even though they haven't scored a point yet.
Yes, West Allegheny, it's been somewhat of a tale of two halves because first half West State dominated in almost every statistical category. But the second half has been even. Neither team has scored yet. The Moon defense has done a very good job of pressuring Nick Ross and not allowing West Allegheny to do much of anything aside from that big run by Kenny White. And the Moon offense, let's see if they can break this shutout. And overall, very encouraging second half, I would say, for the Moon Tigers, but by the same token, not as good of a look for West Allegheny as they had in the first half.
Moon and West Allegheny have competed in close games before. I guess you could consider this a close game. It's under 20 points technically. Last time that happened was in 2012. West Allegheny came out victorious in a very sloppy football game, 21-14. And in that year, West Allegheny would go on to win the Whitfield Championship over West Mifflin 34-8. As Panucci on first down and 10 from the 35-yard line is in the shotgun, throws the screen pass to Duncan. On the left side, takes a hit down to the 30-yard line where he falls forward and gets 5. Second down and 5 coming up for the team in white and red.
Yes, and the height of the West State Moon rivalry, in my opinion, came in the late 90s, early 2000s, as Moon was led by Mark Capilano, who won the Whitfield title in 1998. And between 1997 and 2001, either West State or Moon won the Whitfield title every year. So, very strong period for the Parkway Conference.
Second down and 5 for Moon at the 30-yard line on the far hash marks. Panucci in the shotgun. And Panucci looks to pass. He looks to his right, throws over the middle, and it bounces off the shoulder pass of Zach Duncan, who you would have to believe would streak into the end zone for Moon's lone touchdown of the game. However, unfortunately for Duncan, he's unable to pull in the pass, and it's 3rd and 5.
Yes, just a little too strong a throw from Panucci, and Duncan is not able to make what would have been a very tough catch. And now it's 3rd and 5, and I believe this is 4-down territory for Moon. So let's see if they can inch closer to breaking West Allegheny's shutout.
3rd and 5 from the 30-yard line. Brady Sunday in the backfield with Panucci, the quarterback. A receiver to the left, 2 to the right. As Panucci will take the snap looking left, completing the pass, and over the middle goes the wide receiver. Breaking some tackles, Josh Burns into the 5. And Josh Burns will break the shutout with a 30-yard slant pattern for the Moon touchdown. Breaking the shutout with 5:58 remaining here in the game. West Allegheny on top, 19-6 with the extra point coming.
Yes, Josh Burns is a leader on this Moon Tigers football team, a senior captain, as he eludes first Kenny White and then Kieran Furman is not able to bring him down. And that was a huge morale boost for Moon to at least get something on the board, if nothing else.
That was the 3rd longest touchdown run given up by West Allegheny this season, as Nick Morrow's extra point attempt will split the uprights for a successful extra point. The 3 longest touchdowns given up. That was the second passing touchdown given up by West Allegheny, the first being against North Hills when Tyler Brennan caught a pass from Will Hurt from 10 yards out. The 2 longest plays came against Upper St. Clair, Blake Kadar from a 48-yard touchdown run, and last week versus Woodland Hills, Saeed Holt went 64 yards on the opening play of the game. However, here at West Allegheny, it's 19-7 here on October 28th, 2016, and an illustrious day in West Allegheny history as well.
Yes, 6 years ago on this day, 2010, West Allegheny took on Hopewell, and the Indians fell behind 28-0. It was on a Thursday night, the last Thursday night game that has been played here at Joe DiMichele Stadium. Indians fell behind 28-0 to Hopewell, but would inch back, led by quarterback Dylan Bongiorni, to force overtime. The Vikings would eventually win in overtime by a score of 34-31. But Russell Shell was an absolute beast on that Hopewell team. That was the night he became the first running back in Whitfield history to have consecutive 2,000-yard seasons in the 9-game regular season. As you see, Kenny White recovers that onside kick from Moon and gives West Allegheny solid starting field position.
And for Moon, you can't really blame the aggressive play call there as they wanted to get the ball back an inch closer to a potential upset here, but West Allegheny maintains possession, 1st and 10 from the 46.
No, you can't blame them at all. 19-7, Moon still theoretically has a shot at this game, so they need to pull out all the stops if they want an inch closer to pulling what would be a massive upset. Let's see what they can do.
Kenny White will take the direct snap going along the left end, and he is met by Yoakum amongst others, and the Moon team. Anthony Panucci will strip the ball from Kenny White. However, the ball is ruled dead at the 46-yard line. Kenny White very upset with himself as this West Allegheny team has been unable to amount anything offensively here in the second half.
Yeah, West Allegheny did so much well on offense in the first half. They were moving the ball. They were taking time off the clock. They haven't done a lot of that at all here in the second half, and very surprised to see really nothing going on for the West A offense, and hopefully that can change within the next 5 minutes, but it'll be up to Nick Ross and company to really end this game on a high note.
Ross in the shotgun with Weber to his right as a running back. He throws a fade pattern to Lifford, and Lifford will make the catch in stride. Brandon Lifford will take it, 54 yards for the touchdown. And as we talked about, West Allegheny was unable to get anything going offensively, but right away a 54-yard strike from Ross to Lifford, and to put West Allegheny up by 18 points.
I wonder if West Allegheny offense could hear me from up here. Nick Ross, just a perfect fade pattern. Lifford beats Panucci on one-on-one coverage. That's the second long reception that Lifford has had. This one was for a touchdown. Just a perfectly drawn play. Nice blocking from the offensive line. Ross had time to do his thing, and boy did he ever. 54 yards, and that is exciting. That is the excitement that West Side's offense has been lacking in the second half.
Absolutely, as DJ Psatnik will kick the extra point through the uprights to make the score 26-7 with 4:58 showing in the game thus far. The Indians hold a 19-point advantage over their crosstown rivals, the Moon Area Tigers. Brandon Rossi alongside Joe Smeltzer bringing you the action here at Joe P. DeMcCullough Stadium, this Week 9 matchup between West Allegheny and Moon. One of the lone rivalries remaining from the previously formed Parkway Conference in this new Allegheny 9, as West Allegheny has played all new teams almost for the first time, most of these teams. As you take a look at their schedule, teams that were new that they played. They played Fox Chapel, North Hills, Baldwin, Kiski, Upper St. Clair. The last time they played USC was in 2011. But West Allegheny was able to trump the Panthers for the first time in its program history, and also a Hampton as well as that they played 2 weeks ago here at home.
Yes, and if the Moon Tigers want to develop and make some noise in this Big 9 conference, it is not going to be easy. You have West Allegheny, Woodland Hills, Upper St. Clair, and to a little bit of a lesser extent, North Hills. All four are traditional Whitfield powerhouses, and Coach Hathaway, he has his work cut out for him to get Moon football to where it was under Coach Capulano back in the late 90s and early 2000s.
However, he does have the talent to do so in the coming years, as Psatnik will kick a high short kick to Burns. Burns has some damage, and he will take it at the 50-yard line to the 40, down to the 30, 1 man to beat in Psatnik, and Josh Burns out of bounds at the 10-yard line. So West Allegheny shooting themselves in the foot yet again with yet another big special teams return by Moon.
Yes, Moon special teams, in my opinion, tonight has been the most impressive aspect of their team. They've had some long returns. You see Burns there on the long return, eluding the tackle. And they've also done a great job kicking the ball, keeping it away from Brandon Lifford, as it is the first time in a few weeks that the Indians have not been able to score any points off of special teams.
First and goal coming up for Moon at the 10-yard line after the big return by Josh Burns of 68 yards on the kickoffs. After three special teams blunders by West Allegheny, setting up Moon with good field position, keeping Moon in this game as they are down 19 points to West Allegheny, 26-7. Panucci in the shotgun will throw the pattern incomplete, being pressure put on by Brennan Simmons. May have gotten a finger on Panucci's pass, but nonetheless it is incomplete. Second down.
Yes, and that long bomb to Brendan Lifford is looking a lot more significant than we originally thought it was, as Moon could conceivably be fighting to make it a one-possession game, but instead, even if Moon were to score here, West State would still have a comfortable lead at 26-13.
Moon right now is playing like they have nothing to lose, and that they do. I mean, this is their last game. They have not qualified for the playoffs, so they're trying to go out in style. Panucci in the shotgun. He will look to throw, tries to escape pressure, but again, the West Allegheny defense converges, and a sack for the Indians. The 5th sack recorded by this Indian defense. This time, it's Bryce Manley coming in on the sack.
Yes, defense has been a staple at West Allegheny. It really started with Guy Ripple, who was the defensive coordinator from 1996 through 2002 under Bob Palka. Really helped get this program to where it is, and it's been continued by Brian Cornell ever since Cornell started in 2003. Just defensive football is a tradition every fall here at West Allegheny.
It'll be 3rd down and goal from the 14-yard line. Panucci and company inside of the 15-yard line of West Allegheny. Panucci directing traffic to the running back Sunday, and they will have to call a timeout. The play clock was winding down to 1 as Sunday was unable to get into position to call the play. As we have 3:55 remaining here in the game, West Allegheny leads 26-7 in a first half in which West Allegheny dominated in all facets of the game. Offensively, defensively, not necessarily special teams. And then the second half, West Allegheny has pretty much kept Moon into the game thus far. It's 26-7 as the Tigers had a 30-yard touchdown pass from Panucci to Josh Burns, and Moon if they go down, they're going to go down swinging.
Yes, I think no matter what happens in these next 3 minutes and 55 seconds, Moon will go into the locker room with their heads held high. They came in with really nothing to play for except pride. They could have, often when teams are in this situation, they lose a lot. They lose a lot of intensity. They lose a lot of effort. But regardless of what that scoreboard says, Moon has, I believe they have gone all out and left it all on the field tonight, and they deserve to be commended for that.
3rd down and goal from the 14-yard line for Moon. Just under 4 minutes remaining here in the game. Panucci in the shotgun. He will throw to the end zone to that receiver, and is going to be intercepted in the end zone by Connor Johnson. Johnson able to step in front of the pass that was intended for Burns, and West Allegheny is able to come away with the ball. 1st down and 10 from the 20.
Yeah, it's just a great play by Connor Johnson. He has made so many big plays ever since he decided to join back up with the football team in the middle of the season. We'll see here, he is in one-on-one coverage with Burns. It's a 50-50 ball, but Johnson is able to come on top. Not a great throw from Panucci, but solid read from Connor Johnson. Solid job sticking with Burns, and West Allegheny avoids what I'm sure something would have irritated Coach Cornell if Moon was able to score again and made the score look a little closer than West State would want it to be.
Some of the Moon faithful starting to unpack the stadium as they have just under 4 minutes left in the game, as Will Weber will take the handoff, bursts up the middle at the 30, and nearly takes it for the touchdown, but he is brought down on the play by a couple Moon Tigers, among them Torrey Fisher and Simon Eunice down to the 33-yard line. So that'll stand as a gain of 13 and a 1st down for West Allegheny. Will Weber doesn't get the ball too much in this West Allegheny offense, but when he does, he is sure to make something happen for this Indian offensive attack. As Ross will be in the shotgun, Kenny White in the backfield. Kenny White very frustrated after what happened in the last series, as White is hoping to get into the end zone, but Ross will hand off to White. White has an opportunity as he will run over a Moon Tiger down to the 39-yard line, where he will pick up 6 yards. And White, again, letting the emotions get to him, but he will stay into the game. It'll be 2nd down and about 4, make that 3. Ball spotted at the 40. 3 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, so this is not something that the West Allegheny coaching staff wants to see, as they are 2 minutes and 50 seconds away from heading into the playoffs. Kenny White, the Indians have done a better job of holding in their emotions, but Kenny has gotten a little rattled here in this second half, and hopefully he can kind of get his cool back before the night is through.
Ross in the shotgun as the West Allegheny right guard will be caught moving. Dustin Longstreth will move on the play as now Anthony Totkus getting into it a little bit with a couple Moon Tigers. He has to be restrained there by Zach Hogue, as I don't know what Moon is saying down on the field right now. We can't listen in on what they are saying, but obviously some of the West Allegheny players are rattled right now. With 2:30 remaining, you have to keep your cool right now if you're West A.
Yeah, so much of football is psychological. Things are said, lots of heated exchanges throughout the game. Hopefully this is just nothing more than a normal heated football exchange as far as West Allegheny's emotions go.
2nd down and 8 from the 35-yard line as Ross will hand off to Will Weber, who bursts up the middle at the 50. He's at the 40-yard line. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Will Weber will take it to the house for the 65-yard West Allegheny touchdown.
Now, we don't see a whole lot of Will Weber running the ball, but that is big. Big play from Will Weber. Great blocking from West Allegheny's offensive line. Really not a whole lot of trouble as he breaks through the hole. He was gone. Will Weber, great touchdown run against Hampton, and a similar run here against Moon, as that really puts this game on ice. And West Allegheny, I think, has sealed a victory with that mammoth run from Will Weber.
Kieran Fearman and Matt Holmes throwing in key blocks on the touchdown run of 65 yards for Weber. DJ Upsatnik booms the extra point to make it 33-7 in favor of the Indians. As West Allegheny, a lackluster second half, has broken open here in the fourth quarter. Pretty much a mixed bag if you're the Indians, as some of the players have let their emotions get the best of them. However, 2 touchdowns scored by Brandon Lipford and Will Weber, and their considerably long touchdowns put this game pretty much out of reach for the Tigers. They trail by 26 with 2:06 remaining in the game.
Yes, the 2 touchdowns that West Allegheny has scored in the second half have been a lot different than the ones they scored in the first half. In the first half, West A's scoring was a product of long possessions, as we said a few times throughout the night. Long possessions, moving the ball down the field, short gains, but these 2 touchdowns in the second half, first by Lipford on the wrong fade route from Nick Ross, and as you just saw right there from Will Weber, that's been big play city, and you'll take them however you can get them.
Now coming on to kick off for West Allegheny is Adam Dolan, the soccer player turned kicker for this West Allegheny team. Unfortunately, the soccer team has been eliminated from the Whitfield playoff contention, or from Whitfield championship contention. They were knocked out by Chartiers Valley earlier in the week, 1-0 at Canimac Stadium. However, Adam Dolan still getting the chance to play football for Coach Bob Palco and the Indian football team, as Dolan will lay into this kick, and it will trundle down to the 17-yard line where it is taken by Moon. And again, another special teams blunder, and Raekwyn Glover at the 40 makes a man miss at the 30, makes Lipford miss, and he is tripped up on the play by Kyle Guilfoyle down to the 16-yard line. And special teams coach Jeff Martin is very unpleased with the special teams efforts.
Yes, and Jeff Martin could not be happy with the thought of having to see Raekwyn Glover 2 more times, as Glover is only a sophomore. I've been very impressed with Raekwyn Glover, as I'm sure this Moon coaching staff has been impressed with him as well. Really talented, really a lot of promise shown in this young man, and as this Moon football program looks to rebuild a little bit, he can be one of the main cogs in the turnaround.
The West Allegheny defense will send in the second string. You see a lot of people that don't get a whole lot of playing time, such as Sebastian Ricketts, Tyler Gallant, Logan Rossi, Brock Downing, amongst others, coming in and playing here in the final game of the regular season. As Panucci is in the shotgun, he will look to pass, throwing that pass completed, and going in for the touchdown is Josh Burns to make it 33-13 in favor of West Allegheny. And again, more West Allegheny blunders lead to Moon scoring yet again.
Yes, in this second half, assuming Moon is able to make this extra point, it'll be an even scoreline. It'll be 14-14. And just to tell it too has overall, Moon has been pound for pound right there with West Allegheny ever since the second half started, and you've got to feel pretty good about that if you're Moon.
As Nick Morrow's extra point attempt will go through the uprights and successful. So now West Allegheny will get the ball, they will receive the ball with 1:49 remaining here in the fourth quarter. They lead 33-14 over the Moon Tigers with 1:49 remaining here in the game and in Moon's season, as Moon will fail to make the playoffs. The playoff seeds were set by week 7, with West Allegheny, Woodland Hills, Upper St. Clair, and North Hills all clinching from the Allegheny 9. From the Big East, you have Armstrong, McKeesport, and Gateway all having clinched, and Franklin Regional, Penn Trafford, and Kiski all fighting for that fourth and final playoff spot in the Big East. You would have to think that whoever will finish in fourth place in the Big East will end up facing West Allegheny next week in the first round of the Whitfield 5A playoffs. And if you're head coach Bob Palco next week, it's going to be all business as West Allegheny looks to win its 8th Whitfield championship in program history.
Yes, being the champs of the Allegheny 9 will not satisfy Bob Palco. I don't think it will satisfy anybody at West Allegheny. They want to be as good as they can be. And the only way they can do that in the eyes of Coach Palco is to win their 8th Whitfield championship.
Nick Morrow getting set to kick it away. He has kicked 2 extra points as we have a timeout called by West Allegheny. Special teams coach Jeff Martin and head coach Bob Palco want to talk things over. But Nick Morrow and DJ Upsatnik both having very similar charities, as they both have been kicking for for childhood cancer, both doing it for a great cause, as Morrow and Upsatnik have been collecting money from both the West Allegheny and Moon sides to raise awareness for childhood cancer, and hopefully we can find a cure for that, as childhood cancer has been a very big problem in society.
Absolutely, and it's amazing to think how something as little as a field goal or an extra point can go a long way, not just on the scoreboard, but with Upsetnik and Morrow. They've wanted to do something a little more. They are tackling a very serious issue, and it's
no
just
pun
great
intended.
To see. It's great to see our youth, or young adults, I should say, just getting out there and making a difference in society. It's fantastic.
You got to commend Morrow and Upsatnik for their work, as Morrow will lay into this kick, and it will be a squib kick that will be caught by a diving Colby Stout at the 40-yard line. And West Allegheny will maintain possession from there. First down and 10 with 1:48 remaining here in the game. Moon has very limited timeouts remaining, as the first-team offense will be back out on the field for the Indians.
Yes, we just mentioned Colby Stout. He is sort of West Allegheny royalty. His brother Christian graduated in 2015, played football and basketball. His older sister Carolyn graduated last season, the year after Christian. She was a very good basketball and tennis player. And his younger brother Connor is a standout, will be a standout for West Allegheny's soccer team in the coming years, as you see Nick Ross in the victory formation, which everybody agrees is the greatest formation in football.
As you said there, Joe, West Allegheny in the victory formation. They will trump the Moon Tigers 33-14 for the 10th consecutive time. It wasn't pretty, but the Indians will get it done here at home in the final week of the regular season. 33-14 is going to be your final score. And a game filled with mistakes, especially in the second half. Even though the second half was highlighted by 2 long touchdowns scored by Brandon Lipford off a 54-yard touchdown pass from Nick Ross, and also a 65-yard gallop by Will Weber, the longest play of the game by either team. As the Moon Tigers will finish the year 3-6, West Allegheny will finish undefeated for the 4th time in program history. With the clock winding down with 40 seconds remaining,
Yes, West Allegheny, not a whole lot really to say about tonight's performance. It was very sloppy at times, poor fundamentals at times. And I don't feel that we learned anything about West Allegheny that we didn't know already. They can be very, very, very good, as we saw last week at Woodland Hills, but they had their faults. And the coaches, Coach Palco, Coach Cornell, Coach Davis, Coach Lebchek, all those guys are going to work hard throughout the week to best prepare their team to win a Whitfield championship.
Absolutely, as West Allegheny did in some retrospect fall into the trap game persona as they played down to not a team that necessarily is unworthy, but a team that did not make the playoffs, hasn't been very successful throughout the season. But again, Moon did come along at the end of the year. They will finish 3-6 as, again, Moon did play very tough towards the end of the year, especially in Week 7, whenever they lost 31-27 to Woodland Hills, who was expected to take second place in the Allegheny 9. And in that game, Woodland Hills had to come back. So Moon has been able to keep games close between tough competition, but for West Allegheny, it's almost a tale of can they play well. And in the second half, they didn't necessarily play as well as they could have.
No, not at all. Part of that is credited to Moon's defense. I felt they played hard. Their pass rush was very good at times. But I think part of it, too, might have been West Allegheny getting a little complacent. And Bob Palco hates complacency. And hopefully they'll just get better as the practices go on. Hard days of practice. West Allegheny prepares as well as any team in the Whitfield in terms of getting ready for a game. And they will need to get ready for whoever they play next week. That'll be here at DiMichele Stadium. It will be interesting to see what this team can do going forward.
Absolutely, as next week in the first round of the 5A playoffs, West Allegheny is either going to play the fourth and final place team out of the Big East Conference, whether that is Franklin Regional, Penn Trafford, or Kiski. It is unknown at this point. Or they will play North Hills, who is the last place team in the Allegheny 9 that did make the playoffs. But you can find out about the Whitfield football pairings this upcoming Monday on Halloween. You can tune in on msasports.net to find out who West Allegheny will play in the first round of the 5A playoffs. But that's going to do it for us here at West Allegheny High School. Thank you so much for joining us here on the West Allegheny Sports Network. We will not be broadcasting in the playoffs for the remainder of the 2016 season, so this is so long for the final time this season. For Joe Smeltzer, I'm Brandon Rossi. Thank you so much for joining us on the West Allegheny Sports Network.